Welcome everyone to the Mega Man 3 any% semifinals tournament thingamabob that I just lost my train of thought on. Tonight we got the second semifinal between, in one corner, we've got Prissy. Actually, it's ColonelFatso in corner 1. In corner 2, we've got Prissy. All right, and to help me out tonight, we have the actual winner of the first semifinal, who has obviously a vested interest. Why are you actually? Are you here just to scout, or are you here to actually commentate fast?
Oh, this is definitely scouting.
Okay, figuring out what they're going to do wrong, so that can help you out, as opposed to what benefit would you actually get from scouting these two guys?
I would get basically no benefit, but I get to gloat when something goes wrong.
Yeah. All right, so tell me about these two runners. Fast. What should we expect from these two tonight?
I mean, we have two really consistent runners, two fantastic runners of Mega Man 3, so we should expect a good race from both. ColonelFatso with the 34-34 PB, Prisi with the 34-41, which he actually just got recently. They've been very consistent throughout the tournament, and yeah, definitely no surprise that they're here in this position. So we are going to see two different routes from these guys, which should be interesting. Little trickier to tell who's actually in the lead when that happens, but yeah, I don't know. I'm really been looking forward to this one, so I'm glad I'm here next to Darkwing.
I know you run top first for because it's the fastest route. Let me ask you this: why would anybody who's not like the top racer of this game run top first over magnet first?
I mean, one, it's nice to be able to get the more difficult stages out of the way. There's just this big sigh of relief that you can have once you're done with Gemini, and you can kind of settle into the run from there. The other thing is, like, you can play some of the more risky sections, like the Shadow Parachute section, for instance. You can play it a little safer, and you can still come out with a very similar time to what you're getting in Magnet first, and not having to deal with the Magnet fight RNG. It's kind of underrated how difficult the Magnet Buster fight is also, just not knowing what pattern you're going to get. And if you happen to, with nerves, struggle in the stage being your first stage, you can get there with low health, and the fight can be pretty difficult. So top first, top being a pretty easy Buster fight in comparison.
Okay, so I guess there is benefits of going top first over magnet first that isn't just time related.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we've told how good the top route is. Why is the magnet route a good race route to go with?
There's a lot less that can go wrong in magnet first, I would say. Most of the stages are made just a little bit easier by magnet, so more of the stages are probably made more consistent by the magnet first route, with the exception of magnet itself. And then you have a little bit more tools at your disposal. Basically, it just gives you more options.
All right, I hate to interrupt or anything like that, but we have a race starting, and we'll get the catch up here for us on our screen as we're about to get underway. And hopefully it didn't freeze on me, as it we're just waiting for the delay to happen so we can get going. This is always where it's the most tense at this point. Like for last race with you, we were wondering what route Darko was going to take. He ended up taking the very I think he realized the opponent he was against and went the straight top route.
Yeah, no time for messing around, huh?
Mm-hmm. All right, I hope it didn't freeze on me.
Yeah, I'm showing them going right now, so.
Darko, okay, it did freeze on me. All right, we are off and running.
Anyway, yeah, Fatso with the proto fight right away. Of the two stages, both of them being, you only have just the Buster. They're pretty mash heavy stages. Magnet even being particularly so, because you start just right with that proto fight.
Do you know these two guys' matching skills? Because we can like if someone's facing Darko, we can tell the difference in mashing like immediately because Darko is like extremely good at it. The Proto Man wasn't even touching the right wall, and he was getting kills on him. So
that's actually
these two mashing skills.
So that they're both good mashers. We'll start with that. Fatso, being a veteran of Mega Man X, has like the double mashing technique. But I would say his proto fights are a little slower because he's not able to use that for that particular fight. So at his peak, I would say Fatso is the better masher. Prisi with his teeth mashing is able to bust that out whenever, and so you'll probably see his proto fights be a little bit faster.
Explain this teeth mashing thing.
I wish I could. Basically, you put the controller up to your mouth and like kind of vibrate it against. I've seen Tiki do it. I've actually not seen Prisi's teeth mash. I assume the concept's about the same.
Okay.
But yeah, it works. It's pretty impressive.
It looks like Fatso had a good pattern. He was able to get mostly not magnet missiles, but the electromagnet move that he does. Until the last one, we didn't have enough HP to take the hit, and that seemed pretty good randomness for Fatso in that fight, correct?
Yeah,
that's how you want it to go.
Yeah, you want more shields than jumps, and
shields. That's it. There we go.
Yeah. And
I'm a good commentator.
If you can get through the stage without taking additional damage, you're actually able to deboost all 4 times, and then the ideal pattern would be all shields. And Fatso's actually perfected that fight. He has the best magnet fight in the business.
Oof, Prisi.
So you can see Prisi's fight.
Yeah. Not even right wall.
Prisi doing a very technical room right here. The Shadow Dark Room. Just a lot of movement, precise shooting. A lot of lag reduction in this screen too. There's a lot that goes into it that's kind of invisible tech, so to speak.
This is a question I had during the other semifinal races. How far off screen do those bullets exist?
That's a good question. I don't know that they exist off the edge of the screen. That being said, the right side of my TV is slightly cut off, so for me it appears that they hit enemies off screen. But yeah, I don't think that they actually have a hitbox that goes beyond the screen.
That's what this is.
Okay. So
I heard you had a similar thing happen to you.
I had the exact same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, Prisi attacked Shadow Man during his slide pattern, had invincibility frames while he was in the boss's hitbox, so it just top spin will just drain every frame when that happens. But he did have 2 ticks left. And if you manage it correctly, you can do 1 hit for each tick there, and that's what he did to finish the fight off. So good backup there.
Yeah, that was. I was on the other screen when I saw that during the semifinal, so I didn't see it. But Kyle Precise did, and he was like very nervous about it. How hard is it to just get 1 hit per tick?
Basically, the only thing you have to do is make sure that you don't attack Shadow Man while you're under invulnerability. So if you kind of get away from him, it's actually pretty easy.
All right. I was gonna, and I asked Kyle this. I'm gonna ask you this because you guys are at a slightly different skill level, especially in race settings. What are your thoughts going into the first screen of Gemini and then the water section of Gemini? Do you have what is your emotional state at that point?
Nice zip for Prisi there. Going into Gemini, actually, I'm looking forward to the opening gauntlet being done with because these first 3 stages are so difficult. I know this is the last stage that I really need to worry about until docks. And so I actually am not that nervous going into the first screen because I'm not likely to die there. I'll probably lose a couple seconds if I play it poorly. But this underwater screen is definitely a big deal. If I'm going to die anywhere in the run, this is probably still, even with all the practice I've done over the years, it's still the most likely place to die. It's a very difficult screen.
This is where Darko died in your second race.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for anybody to die here. It's very difficult. Especially, like, more so if you're kind of questioning yourself. If you're, you really just need to trust the muscle memory. Very nice hard knuckle switch by Fatso there.
I saw that too, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, nice. Prisi with the no buffer jump over the Stomper. That's requires some very technical movement, so good job by Prisi there. Fatso with the ideal top man fight. And Prisi with a solid Gemini fight, so good play by both runners so far.
Someone took care of the tracker while I was completely neglecting it, and I'm taking care of it now. So I'm notoriously bad at keeping track of the tracker, so whoever does it, great. Chat can help me out if I forget, that's great too. But I got this one, so we're in better shape here. All right, so what you're saying is like preseason, like okay, everything's easy now, at least comparatively, right?
Yeah, he's probably stressing Prisi's Dragonfly at the end of Needle right now, but other than that, yeah, he's probably feeling like he dodged a bullet getting through. Because his single block screen was not super smooth, and so he's probably feeling a little bit of relief that he got through it, survived the Gemini fight without a lot of health, and now he's onto the easier portion of the game here.
Are you a opponent watcher or not during your race?
I do not. I do like if my chat updates me on anything major that happens to my opponent. Knowing that they died will definitely cause me to scale back a little bit, which I did in my second race. Okay. But I don't like the distraction of having it up.
What do you scale back? Because that's always something I like to get an idea of. How your opponent is doing affects how you play.
It's mostly movement. The most likely things that are going to kill me are just trying to cut jumps too short. To like maximize my sliding time, stuff like that. And then certain strats like Wily 1 underwater section.
That's something that Kyle mentioned and I agreed with, and we actually noticed that in the race that you didn't do the absolute best pattern there to get through that. So that was something we definitely noticed. So that's good that we're actually accurate in our commentary sometimes.
Yeah, you guys did a good job. That was fun to watch back. Man, these guys are just cruising through right now.
Yeah, it seems pretty even. Let's see. So that was Shadow.
Like, they're both probably just slightly behind their PBs, like probably less than 10 seconds.
Needle. And someone got Needle already. Wow.
Yeah, we're on
it's hard to say whether... Because of the different routes, it's hard to tell who's ahead because the stages are not equal as far as time taken to complete them. So we can't say just based on who starts their fifth stage who's actually ahead.
Right, unfortunately not. Because like Fatso has one long stage in Gemini and one short stage in Needle. And Prisi has two kind of like moderate stages. I would say they're both pretty close. I think Fatso's execution's been slightly better, but Prisi running the faster route. So yeah, they're both probably really close. We'll see after 6 stages exactly where they're at, because they will sync up going into Snake.
I guess these two stages here, you can tell the difference between the two based on the stage. Now, well, based on the route. Magnets for Prisi, we're going to see this here instead of the yogurt blocks being jumped on. We got Rush Jet. And then what's different in Gemini on the different routes?
Actually, Gemini should be the same because yeah, for both of them you do it after Shadow, so you have Shadow Blade. Yeah, you can use. Well, I guess the one difference is you can use Magnet in the first screen of Gemini on the Magnet first route. It's about the same speed as Buster, but it should be a little bit more consistent. But then you also have to deal with drops, so it's kind of debatable which you should do anyway if you're doing Magnet first.
All the single blocks here.
Yep, very good section.
Oof.
That looks pretty smooth.
All right, Prisi having an easy Magnet fight. I don't even know the pattern, but it's an easy Magnet fight when you have Shadow Blade.
Yeah, you still are hoping for shields, even if you have Shadow Blade. It saves about 1.3 seconds for him to shield versus jump there. But the difference between that... Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Ooh. So Fatso has a unique Gemini fight. Actually, Prisi and Fatso both have fights that only they do. Fatso's being the fastest possible version. His first phase he did correctly, but he missed a couple hits on the second phase. Ideally, if he does it right, he kills him right in the middle of the screen while standing in his hitbox, so him being in the middle of the screen, which is the best kill you can get.
That's what I was going to ask you about Magnet, is like where you kill the boss is important to saving time, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So basically, in this game and in Mega Man 4, after you kill a boss, their explosion sprites all have to leave the screen before the victory fanfare starts. So you want to kill the boss as center as you can, and that's where a lot of like the RNG in boss fights comes from. Is like which pattern they gives you might dictate where exactly you can kill them. It's usually not a lot, but it's it can add up a little bit over the course of a run. But also you have to walk to the center to like you're frozen after you kill the boss, so you have to walk to the center to get your weapon power up. So you also want to be in the middle. So if you can manipulate yourself and the boss to be in the center of the screen, that's your ideal kill typically.
Mega Man 3 is kind of unique in that way, in that you freeze just like Mega Man 2, but it matters that you're at the center of the screen, like Mega Man 4, 5, and 6.
Right. Very nice fight for Prisi there.
Yeah, it was. I saw Darko too. Like neither of them switched to Magnet to finish off Proto Man there, which I see you do all the time.
Yeah, honestly, it's a cycle-based fight, so depending on like exactly how fast your fight is, nice fights from both runners there. It looks like
hard for Prissy, and that was Needle. All right. Oh, I can knock off Magnet. That's right.
So we have a 2-second difference for Z over Fatso right now. How about that?
Well, it's not the first race you and Darko had, but it's pretty darn close.
This is very good. So now we'll get to see them, in tandem, attacking the same things. We'll see the differences in movement and strats, and whether Fatso can close the gap on that 2 seconds. Which is my favorite part of watching any Mega Man 3 race, just because of
We had that a lot in your race. Like anytime we got close to we got a Proto Man fight and we saw Darko catch up, and then on more long straightaway sections you were catching up. It was quite an interesting matchup to see the ability differences show up in the two. These guys are, I think, a little bit more similar in playing, right?
Yeah, they're like skill set and I don't know, talent, whatever. Yeah. they're very similarly, like this is a very equal match as far as I'm concerned. Their PBs are 7 seconds apart, and they're similar style of runners.
I guess like style is kind of where I was going with it too.
Yeah, both consistent, and they tend towards safer strats in general, but also have like unique tech that they've brought to the game. Like they're both keen on like routing and finding faster strats and stuff like that too. So you'll see subtle differences.
Any chance at single blocks here?
No. 0. Especially not in match 1 of a best of 3. Both of them know how to do it, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I don't think we're going to see that. I don't think there's enough desperation this early in a run to go for it. Oh, Prisi spawning clouds. Fatso just caught up by 7 frames. Basically, while you're jumping off the top of Jet, your hitbox extends, like it wraps around to the bottom of the screen, and you can trigger the cloud platform as if you were standing on it. Prisi gets the God fight. No snakes, so no lag, and he was able to kill him while standing in the middle. Fatso gets the middle pattern. Both executed the fight well. I think Prisi picked up probably like 2/3 of a second or something, just based on luck.
Well, the interesting thing is like we both have pretty easy nondescript stage that doesn't usually get talked about that much in Spark, and then we have the dogs coming up. You could play very evenly like they are right now, and someone could win by a good 30 seconds just because of randomness throughout the rest of the way. But I mean, you've got the turtles, best versus worst. I guess not necessarily randomness, but if someone misses the devil, we saw that happen in the other semifinal where that just evened up a race.
There's certainly a lot left in this run that could make big swings, and they wouldn't even take that to determine the winner of this race, as you can see with how close they are.
Yeah.
Their snakes were about even. Fatso was 2 seconds still behind coming into this stage. This is definitely the stage I consider to be the easiest.
Why?
There's just not as much to do in this stage. Like, there's just fewer things that you can mess up. It's a short stage, and there's not a lot of technical things. It's mostly just movement. When you're beginning this game, this last screen is pretty scary. And there was the screen with the elevator blocks where you like are going over pits. But once you're at the level of these runners, you're shocked if you die in Spark.
It's like the amount. This game is so high on lag reduction to save time, more so than any other Mega Man, or maybe Mega Man 4.
It's got to be more than any other. I would say 4 has similar lag to this, but I think you have more opportunity to reduce lag in 3 because you're not with Balloon and you're not, you're usually in a weapon, so you can actually kill things. All right, 1648 for Prisi, 1649, maybe 50 for Fatso. Those are very good 8 robo times. Those are definitely 34 pace 8 robo times.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So let's see, are we going to get different dock routes as well? I think they typically do different ones. Yeah, so we're going to diverge here again. Fatso going Doc Gemini first, which is what I do. To me, it's the most dangerous one. I like to get out of the way. Prisi going for Shadow. Let's see.
Now,
Awesome.
Thank you. When I was commentating, I would during the group stage, less so during the knockout stage, but during the group stage, I think about 60% of the racers died in the first screen of Doc Gemini.
That is not at all surprising.
Yeah.
I think I've had maybe 4 or 5 different PBs that had a death in Doc Gemini.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Why is that one so difficult and so easy to die on?
Ooh, Fatso's going top route.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Reduce a little lag by killing some of those enemies. There's just so many pits and like a lot of single block slides you have to do. It's kind of similar to Gemini in that way. And then the underwater section in particular, very. Fatso's almost nailing a lot of fights right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's doing really difficult things, and but yeah, this underwater section, like, it takes some time to get used to the lag, and then you'll get different lag depending on enemy drops, and so it takes a lot of experience and time to kind of get used to everything that this screen can throw at you, and so you'll see newer runners die here a lot. You'll see intermediate runners die here a lot. You'll see experienced runners die here a lot.
Yeah. The underwater section in Dog, it really isn't that difficult once you learn it, correct? I know Kyle was like very scared of it, but it doesn't seem like once you learn it, it's very repeatable.
It is. Once you get used to dealing with a couple particular drops that can kill you and like how to not let them kill you, it should be a pretty consistent screen.
Yeah. All right, so that was the Doc Shadow. That was Doc Shadow. Okay.
All right, and good first docs for both. I'm not seeing major mistakes from either runner right now. Yeah. Like, we're just seeing minor things here and there, but we're seeing both of these runners, play to their potential here. All right, so Prisi foregoing the single block slides on those pillars, which, yeah, this screen is very difficult. So the thing about magnets is you pretty much have to kind of lead them to the enemies that haven't even appeared yet. And so if your rhythm gets thrown off, it can be tough to kind of regain it because then the enemies will already be on the screen when you already should have shot at them.
So they'll be even after this stage, or at least they'll have the same dogs. It's interesting that Prisi went Shadow Gemini to me. Like, does he consider Shadow harder, or just it doesn't matter and he just chose them? I'm not sure if I did any Prisi matches, so I don't know if he has a specific reason why he does the docks.
Yeah, I don't know. He's always done it the same way, but I'm honestly not sure why he chose the route the way he did. Obviously, it doesn't really matter which order you do them in. Everybody kind of has their personal preference there. I actually had changed my route from what I did to Doc Gemini. Like it wasn't purposeful.
Oh.
Some people have just run the same docs forever and just don't really see a reason to change it. I can't remember Prisi ever switching. He might have just always done this. Man, both going through just dangerous sections in different stages at the same time. Like both of those sections are places that will claim a lot of runners of Mega Man 3. Again, these elite, 34 tier runners don't die there quite as often, but definitely really tough screens to get consistent at, mostly because of drops.
Let's see what Fatso gets here. 30.
So like
and was that 60 or 90? I think it was 60.
I think it was a 60. It was a good pattern.
Yeah.
You can see a slight difference in how Prisi and Fatso do their fights. Like Fatso walked for the.
Oh man, that
if you stand right next to Bubble right there, he actually can't hit you when he's on the ground. So it's a little safer than it looked. But yeah, Fatso dragged Heat further into the room to give him more time to set up the double hit. Especially on a 30 pattern, it's really hard to get the double.
Yeah.
But it also makes Heatman charge longer. So, Prisi stood closer to him, which is a slightly tougher fight, but slightly faster. And you'll see that kind of decision making, having to be made by both runners all the way through. Just, do you want to do a slightly faster strat that might save you, 1/10 of a second?
I was only about 30 seconds behind and updating. We got there.
I apologize for putting all that on Darkwing, but with my one monitor setup, it's very hard for me to keep track of that. Darkwing's braving.
My just general ditziness means it makes it much more difficult. All right.
So,
they're on the same stage. Yeah.
We can see Fatso took the lead with a better first couple dock stages. Prisi with a nice little mini zip there. Gets the 2 cycle. So this screen here doesn't seem like much, but a good screen actually saves 2 to 3 seconds over a bad screen just because of lag manipulation. Basically, you're trying to despawn as many of these dragonflies as you can because they'll fall to your vertical position. And if you jump at the right time, again, like your hitbox will wrap around, they'll go all the way to the bottom and just vanish off the screen and save you some lag.
Prisi getting none of them.
Yeah. Again, slight difference in strats definitely, plays a difference.
Mm-hmm.
There's execution, there's movement, there's strats.
There was some scariness going on here in the other semifinal. I think Darko on one of the races almost died on the second second big met. I don't know what it's called, but he had to get the health actually for the crash fight.
Yeah, that would be a bad place to die. You lose about a minute, I think. It's one of the worst deaths in the game towards the end of Doc Needle. Very nice Crashman fight for Fatso.
That was a center kill.
Prisi with a slightly different strat there. That was a good fight also. Crashman is he has I think 3 different jump arcs he can take, so it's a tough fight to get consistent at because you have to react to the pattern he gives you. Actually, Mega Man 2 bosses pretty much all have RNG you have to respond to in some way. So both runners doing, I want to call it the traditional just because you see most people do it, but opening with Gemini and fighting Quickman with Snake. We'll see that the Japanese runners and Darko will start this stage with Shadow Blade, which should be a little slower overall just because Shadow Blade's a little slower at killing these enemies. Gemini saves a menu if you fight Quickman with Gemini, that is. It saves a menu page, so 30 frames or something like that. But if you get lucky with drops, you can actually have your cake and eat it too, and have Gemini for both the beginning and the end of the stage. Good fight for Fatso.
All right, we get to see if they go for these music despawns.
It was hard for me to tell, but that looked like he had the safe pixel there. Yeah, neither of them. I think Prisi was too far. Fatso definitely had one of the 2 pixels, but with the pixelation I'm seeing on my screen, it's hard for me to tell exactly. But yeah, there's a music despawn here, the same as in Dark Shadow. Whereas Dark Shadow, it saves like 2.5 to 3 seconds. Here, it saves about 1.5 seconds. The checkpoint is at the end of the spike fall, though, so if you die, you lose well over a minute. One of the worst deaths you can take for sure.
So prisi not knocking off those.
Yeah, he shot a magnet too early, and so he only had 4 left, and one of them missed. Very nice quick man fight for Fatso, kills him in the middle. You can see menuing to Snake after the fight starts, so you can kind of see his opening pattern. Prisi with some fancy moves there, because his health was starting to look a little sketchy. Nice fight for Fatso. It's actually an interesting setup there, because he avoids Proto jumping down into the pit. And so he actually caused Breakman to die on the top ledge, and that makes his teleport out a little faster.
So I think prisi split on the most important Breakman split about 10 seconds behind. In that range is about 10 seconds behind.
I don't know how to respond to that, so I won't. But yeah, okay, so if we have a 10 seconds difference going into Wily, that's enough where Turtles could swing it, Yellow Devil can swing it. So yeah,
I mean refights, right?
Oh, definitely. Prisi's refights are very, very strong. Fatso's are good as well, but Prisi's kind of innovated a lot of refight strats. We see Fatso going top route underwater, so that's somewhere where Prisi might be able to catch up a little bit.
Took an extra hit too.
Okay, and Prisi gets the correct strat there.
The upper route is definitely safer. With at this point, if your chat told you were 10 seconds ahead, would you change your strat as all? Or just be normal, no reset style?
I think 10 seconds is close enough. You have to just play it normal. You know, if you're talking 30 seconds, then you're trying to avoid a death. But here, with what's coming ahead of you, you actually have to play well. We're going to see a difference in their turtle fights as well. Fatso going with the standard top spin.
Was that best start and then worst? I think best.
Killed him in the middle too. That was definitely an above average pattern for Fatso there. Prisi's getting a pretty good one here too. Bad last turtle, but he killed him in the middle too. So
it looks like the turtles were slightly better for Fatso there.
Slightly better. They weren't too different. Like one person, you know, wasn't completely unfair to them.
Yeah.
I think we're still probably seeing roughly a 10-second difference.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Maybe a little bit more.
Now, aside from Yellow Devil, in a race setting, there's not any difference in Wily 2. You're not going to do any weird, you know, single block slide things that...
In a race setting, no, but this stage actually has probably 4 or 5 like very tight slides you can do that can kill you. But you're probably not anything you're going to see in this tournament.
Wait, are we going to get easy here, guys?
This is a very important kill for Fatso here. Yeah,
7
nice
and 3.
Easy 7-hit first jump.
Yeah. Seven and three.
Yep.
Darko did like 8 and 2 in the first race.
Yeah, that's Darko. Ooh, that's good that Fatso knows that backup. He knew exactly what he was doing when he climbed back down that ladder. That was very well done. We're gonna see Prisi try to go between the first and second bullets also. No, second and third. So they both got the same cycle there. But yeah, in order for Prisi to try to make up this difference, he's gonna, need to hope that Fatso misses a laser or two, and he's gonna need some help because there's not big swings unless you do something kind of uncommon, with the quick kills that are coming up.
Like what happened in the semifinals with the machine.
Yep, that can happen. But, it probably won't. You would think that with a lead, you probably play it a little safer than, if you're within a second of your opponent.
Yeah.
Nice kill for prisi. Killed him like right in the middle.
Looks like Fatso has separated himself a little bit.
Yeah, ever since the robots have ended, he's just kind of steadily picked up time on most stages here.
I think he was 14 seconds ahead, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I didn't see what
This is a very difficult stage before the refights, by the way.
Yeah, I when I played this, there's absolutely no way I could kill those garbage hucking dudes. I don't know how you could
nice
even
fight
do it.
for Fatso.
You have to play Shadow pretty safe because you can run out pretty easily there, can't you?
Yeah.
I've seen that happen before.
Yeah, if you run out, you'll have to switch to Shadow Blade and kill him with that, and then basically it changes your entire refight order. You'll kind of try to do it in reverse because normally you would end with Shadow Blade.
Ooh! Oh! He has to go to.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna take the time loss there, which is better than doing something dumb and ending up with the soft lock. So prisi definitely picked up some there. He's gonna still need Fatso to miss a laser or two. Good Gemini fight. prisi invented this Gemini fight right here. Good fight. Ooh, man. That high jump is always very scary.
Yes,
but yeah,
you had one in the semifinals that just barely hit him.
prisi definitely picking up time on this refights, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Basically, a little less than one fight is separating him.
Oh, he missed. He's got to pick that up now.
Yeah, that's rough.
Oh man,
that's so low on health, but that's usually planned. You're expecting to finish this refights with low health.
I think he missed a Shadow Blade though. He hit it into his iframes.
All right, we got 2 quick kills left. Yeah. We're looking at a 34 for both runners. Just not a surprise. These are very, very good and consistent Mega Man 3 runners.
We saw a race change right on this fight here. The other semifinals.
I'm going to assume that Fatso is going to be shooting. Ooh! Oh, that's bad. That is really bad, actually. Wow. This
He's got to change the shadow, doesn't he?
Oh! prisi almost missed too! Wow, prisi just took the lead. I can't believe that. So basically what happened there is Fatso killed the first phase slow.
So
and what that does is he doesn't drop right away, and it's really, really difficult to time the drop the second time because you just don't know when he's going to come down. You don't have the same rhythm.
Man. Oh man.
Incredible! What that's twice now in the semifinals that we've seen the Wily Machine decide one of these races. Well, this one's not decided yet. I'm going to assume prisi's going to use top here and not Snake with the lead. Didn't jump. Okay. GG prisi.
Wow. prisi with a SRL finish time of 34:53 and ColonelFatso with a 35 flat.
That's unbelievable.
Wow.
What did I just watch?
Wow.
Whew.
The funny thing is that it's going to be hard to top the other semifinal where it was 13 seconds difference both times, and we just did it.
Yeah.
With a similar incident. Oh man. Well, you guys got what you paid for this particular match.
Can you believe that we're going to have another one?
Yeah, this is best 2 out of 3 here, and at least one more.
Oh man.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, Fatso with the better PB just kind of like slightly pulled away throughout most of the race, and then just gave it back on one fight. Like that's how these races can go.
Yeah. Whew. That's one small mistake. Like, was he too fast on his mashing, or did he start the I'm trying to remember, because he left the cannon there longer than you should. I'm surprised he just didn't try to like either go to rest jet or immediately to Shadow Blade.
So that's a tough call. So like, if you know you're up, say 7 or 8 seconds, you have to kind of figure in your mind really quickly. Okay, so if I switch to Shadow, because it's faster to do what he did. Like that's the fastest possible backup, is to stay with Snake, wait for him to go down a second time your deboost properly. But that's not something anybody practices, because you don't expect to miss the Wily Machine kill. Like, I don't know that there's anybody that knows that timing, like, you know, like the back of their hand. So usually the safest thing to do would be to switch immediately to Shadow Blade and try to kill him with that. But that would probably cost you about that 7 or 8 seconds, or however much he was ahead. That's probably how long it would have taken him. It would have been very close.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a tough decision to make.
Well, you don't know when the machine's going to come down, do you?
I mean, he follows a set pattern, but the thing is you don't know where he is in that pattern. Yeah. So like, I mean, technically, if you practiced it, you would know exactly when he was going to come down. But again, I just don't think anybody practices that. I don't. Like, I'm just going to switch to Shadow Blade in that scenario.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what would you have done in that situation?
Yeah, if I was Fatso, I would have switched to Shadow Blade, because I wouldn't have trusted my ability to get it with Snake. But that said, I mean, if he had gotten it, it probably would have assured victory for him. So I mean, I can't blame him for it. Yeah. He didn't miss by much. I think if he had shot 2 lag snakes instead of going with the 0 snake approach on this, second drop down, he would have had that kill no problem. This time he wasn't terrible. It was a little early, but yeah, Prizi's last snake just kind of jumped up and hit the he almost missed his kill as well.
Oh yeah, I didn't see. I was still looking at Fatso. I didn't.
Oh yeah, no, that was sketchy as well.
Did Prisi do the lag snakes?
He did. Yeah, he did.
Okay. We had that problem too, where he didn't jump. The reason Darko misses, he didn't jump.
Right. Yeah, you can have all the mashing in the world, but if you don't time your jump properly, it doesn't do you any good. Same for Yellow Devil. We've seen some really good mashers missed it because they, jump too early or shoot too early.
Yeah, the shots go all over. Yeah, because you missed the Yellow Devil because of that once, not because of mashing, I think.
I missed Yellow Devil twice. They were both because of mashing.
Oh, okay. I remember maybe it was in the quarterfinals where, it was either someone who was a really good masher missed because he shot a Shadow Blade above the eye and it took that long to come down.
Yeah, but, definitely.
I mean, you don't expect Darko to miss it when you can get 8 hits on the first.
Exactly. Yeah. We've seen some runners have issue with that, with shooting early in particular. Yeah. Because no matter you can only have one Shadow Blade on the screen, so no matter how fast you mash, if that one is floating there not hitting, he's mashing at the same speed as I am, because no Shadow Blades are coming out either way.
Well, so how do you respond to race 2 if you're Fatso here? Like, what should you think about here? What's in your mind as you're cooling down, ready for the next one to start? I
think you got to take a lot of confidence in the fact that you were on really good pace before that happened. In general, in that run, I would say he was the better runner. Like he just played slightly faster, just kind of slowly accumulated time. And so you have to realize that if you play your game, you just have to tell yourself this: if you play your game, you're gonna win. So, you just come back and do what you did last time, and know that that's not going to strike you down twice. You're not going to miss Wily Machine twice in a row. So.
You had a similar thing happen, although it was a fluky, random thing that cost you in a best of 3 in the Mega Man 2 tournament. That you well, it wasn't best of 3; it was a double elimination. But you hadn't lost yet, so you could afford the loss. So that was. How did you react to that when that happened to you? What was in your mind?
Actually, I had no nerves for the next run after that. I was so angry. So. I just played the next run like I didn't care, and it worked out in my favor.
I wonder if that's going to happen to Fatso or not. He's the one that's okay. We're gonna see a little bit of practice here on screen before we start the next race. I wonder what it's going to be.
So I'm curious whether he single mashes or double mashes the first phase of the Wily machine. Because it was weird. He was standing a little close to the turret. But with his normal mashing, he should have killed it before then. So I don't know.
Because the turret doesn't have any.
Sometimes you're just nervous though it's close, and your thumb locks up, or I don't know. I'd be curious to have him explain what happened. Oh yeah, so I think he double mashes that. So he stands close on purpose and double mashes snakes in so that it, even after he kills it, the snakes exit the screen immediately and don't cause lag. But so that's the thing with double mashing, right? So you're alternating your thumbs on the B button one after another. And so if you're slightly off rhythm, you'll push the button before the other one lets go. And it doesn't register as an input, it just thinks you're still holding the button. So that's possibly what happened if he does double mash this, in fact. That he was just slightly off rhythm and just lost some shots to that. But you can see how good his double mashing is. He's just jumping and taking out the Wily machine with no lag snakes, it's no problem.
Oh, we need to refresh this. All right.
Yes, we do.
All right. All right. Fatso's pretty happy with where he's at. So.
Yep. As you can see, he practiced it a number of times in a row and didn't fail it once. It's not something you expect to miss. That said, I have lost potential 33 runs to Wily machines. So.
Yeah. Didn't you lose it to Gamma too once?
Let's not talk about that. We're not here to talk about
I mentioned that. We're not. This is about the racers, not me.
Exactly. I mean, now it's not.
All right, we're just waiting for Fiesel to unenter the race, and we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to adversely affect Fatso for this race. He's been speedrunning a long time. I think his mind's clear. He'll be ready to go.
Okay, all right. We thought everybody was ready, but they weren't. And now everybody's ready. 10 seconds in real time. You'll hear it from us in about 20 seconds from now. And they have started. We'll get
Then we'll get video on that.
Here. We'll get going. Yeah, we'll get the video going.
So yeah, I mean, for this race, I expect to see a lot of what we saw last time. Probably good runs from both runners, probably deathless. And it's probably going to be really close.
Yeah, I mean, the last race was in the semifinals because there was only one death and 2 races in the semifinals.
Right.
And that one death, if he hadn't died, he might have won that particular race because he only lost by 13 seconds. So
right. It does change how your opponent plays a little bit when you take an early death, I think. Yeah. But that's going to be different for everybody too. I'm curious whether Prisi feels a little bit more confident with the 1-0 lead. Playing with the safety net definitely should take some pressure off.
Yeah.
But you definitely don't want to see it go to a third if you're up 1-0. So.
What was your mindset until Darko died when you were having the 1-up lead? Were you looser? Were you tighter? How did you feel?
Looser, but probably too lax. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think it can be a little bit of a trap to have. I don't know. I guess to be to take that edge off and all that adrenaline, especially how the first one ended. Like you're coming down off of that. Yeah. And
because that was a similar event. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it probably would be a tendency to be a little sloppy coming out of the gate. When your heart's pounding, then the first one, and you got to cool it down a little bit.
That's they did take a little bit longer to restart the second race than you two did last in the other semifinals. So it'll be mostly to cool down, and it looks like they're. I mean, the first stage on either side isn't terribly technical to where you can be sloppy. It's the next couple stages, I suppose. That might give Fatso a little bit of an advantage, being as his first couple stages.
Wow, that's right. Oh, he almost got a really good pattern. But as always, good magnet fight for Fatso. He's leading here sub 2, which is not easy to do. He's done it twice in a row. Prisi with a pretty standard 158 top.
That's a good question on how the seeds were chosen. Basically, going into the group stage, the seeds were chosen based on PB. Prisi was, what was Prisi's seed? 4? No, Fatso was, I can't remember where Fatso was originally seeded, or Prisi. But the knockout stages were done based on your best time and record during the group stage. And Fatso qualified first out of the group stage with a 34-43, I think it was.
Yeah, I think he tied his PB at the time with that run.
Yeah. And Prisi came in 5th. I don't remember his time. I think it was in a 35s, I believe. A mid to low 35, I think it was, to qualify 5th. And that's, you know, so this is the 1-5 matchup. Prisi beat the, I think, 12th seed to get into the semifinals, and Fatso beat the 8th seed, I believe, or 9th seed. It was 9th seed. Chalmers 9th seed going in. So this is where they how they got here. That's how we got the number 1 and 2 in the world. They qualified 2nd and 3rd for the other semifinals. So, but these guys are, you know, their times have been pretty much matched the times of the other semifinals. So it's not, you know, it's not as though they can't. Whoever wins this matchup can't win in the finals.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So.
Prisi runs out of topspin against Shadow Man. Has to finish him off with Buster. He didn't die in the parachute section, so at least he's got that going for him.
About how much time loss is that? 5 seconds? 5,
yeah, probably, maybe even a little bit more than that. If you do it optimally, it's probably 5. Usually, in real circumstances, it ends up being about 7 or 8.
Oh, geez. All right, I need to take care of this here. All right, a magnet. And now hard. And then we got top. And shadow.
It's nice if you're nervous to be able to start with magnet, hard, and then even like in top, like you're probably the only place you're likely to die would be on that very last top jump. And
you can take that safe if you really want to and lose a second.
Right. So you can kind of ease into the run a little bit and and kind of get your feet wet.
Once you're a few stages in, like I would think you wouldn't even be thinking about the last race.
Right. Yeah, I think the last race is gone. I think usually you're over, you know, whatever jitters you have. I don't know how many people get them, but I know a lot of people definitely, you know, have kind of pre-race jitters.
I think they've gotten a zip every time.
Yep, haven't seen a missed one.
Yeah.
They're using Cool Kids setup there, which, you know, kind of extends your window for being able to pause and get it.
Are you hoping for penguins, or does it not matter against the big penguin for the health?
You want small penguins, but it doesn't matter if you didn't take damage in the rest of the stage. You'll still have enough. What you're hoping for, like Prisi has enough health right now. You're hoping for at least 8, like over 8, because then if you fail the jump over the, you did the same thing last time too. Like shot that Shadow Blade a little low. But yeah, that way if you is that 8 or 9? I can't tell. I think it's okay. It must be 8 because he's buffering, and last time he did it without the buffer. But basically, that guy does 8 damage to you, and you don't want to die to that Stomper. Yeah. So even if you're confident in that jump, you really have to consider, you know, throwing those buffer Shadow Blades and taking the time loss.
And Fatso did, in fact, take it very safe on those top pattern platforms.
I'm glad you were watching that. My eyes are just trained to just focus in on Gemini.
Yeah,
always.
I looked at it late, and I was watching him, shuffle back and forth, which means he was staying on the top. So, yeah, that's probably the smart thing for Fatso to do there, just to get your nerves down from that last race. But with Prissy having that shadow error. Oh, he just beat. Who did he just beat?
He just beat Gemini.
Gemini. Golly. No, let's see. And then we had Tom. Okay, good. Okay. So Prissy had that issue with Shadow Man, so he should be ahead by a reasonable margin at this point. If, not comfortable, but definitely.
Yeah, especially because Fatso got good magnet RNG. I would say he's definitely in the driver's seat for what that's worth. It's probably a single-digit lead, but it's definitely a lead.
It's too early to make it mean anything, but I think it would be good for him to know that he has, since Prissy did make a minor error. If he knows, he might not even know. That's something that I've asked a lot of other the commentators. A lot of them don't actually want to know what the other is doing, so they don't even know that they don't have their chat to look at or anything like that. They don't even know; they just play. So I'd be interested to know if these two knew what the others were doing. That comment makes me wonder if Prissy is listening to us right now.
He's got a history with that dragonfly in that stage. Gave him a big hug. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I kind of want to know almost after every stage how close it is.
Yeah, I would too. I mean,
more information is usually better, but I can see where it can be just a little distracting. Some people, the more they can focus on their run, the better.
Yeah.
For me, I almost need distractions because if I think about it too much, I'm liable to make a mistake.
Yeah. I guess for a lot of people, this game is so technical and hard and not as familiar, so they have to focus so much on that having those distractions may actually hurt. You can't just like for me in Zelda, I don't have to think a whole lot during it. I just know, that can hurt me in some cases where I get odd things happen, but especially in the early stages, I can just kind of half think my way through. So it's nice to know where everybody else is at.
Yeah, these guys can mostly autopilot this game. They have really strong muscle memory for it. I know Prisi in particular thinks he plays better when he focuses, without Mike or whatever. If he's just him in the game, I think he feels like he plays better.
Oh, that just came to mind there. Like, I was always wondering why only 2 tadpoles spawn on that one spot in Gemini. Is that because of Rush?
Wait, in what spot?
Where you have to use the coil to bounce up to the top part. Where there's you have the health refill, not coming down but going up.
I mean, either way, only 3 tadpoles can spawn. So, you shoot 2 before you jump onto Rush, and then there's a couple different ways of doing it. Prisi actually has a different strat there, where he shoots a 3rd egg and spawns a 3rd tadpole. Most of the other runners will actually just
3?
shoot they'll shoot, spawn the 3rd tadpole twice and kill it twice. So it's actually more shots that way. Just because it's pretty awkward to do what Prisi does, and it's hard to make it faster.
And Gemini's dead.
That's another cool kid strat.
Oh, it didn't go. There it goes. Okay. All right, this is like the best I've ever done the tracker, and it's still not even that good.
We're at least
we are up to date.
I'm a big fan of Shadow Blade on this first screen of Hardman. I think it feels a lot better to do. It's slightly faster. I think optimally it's probably like 0.2, 0.3 seconds faster than the Magnet Rush Coil strat.
The Rush Coil seems, because you're in the air so long without actually sliding forward.
Right.
So it seems like that's where the time gain is.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely on that 3rd kill because the first two Bs are pretty similar.
Yeah.
Magnet for this section of Needleman is pretty nice. you get to see the benefits of the alternate route.
Yeah.
In both cases there.
So we haven't talked about it yet.
That's a nice dozer kill for prisi there. Sorry.
That's what I was gonna tell the audience about the Met dozers.
So the Met dozers, as best as I can figure, their hitbox is stable, but as they kind of bounce up and down when they move, there's like a shield in front of it that will kind of block it. So as I can tell, when they're in the stopping portion of their like move cycle, their hitbox is exactly in the same spot. So you can get your 3 shots in while they're stopped. But the thing is their movement is RNG, but their first stop is not. So a lot of times you'll see people jump at like a very specific time and fire those 3 shots. It's it's quite a hitbox that the Met dozer has, but it kind of almost makes sense if you played this game a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But almost in like an intuitive way that it's hard to really explain.
All right, so it's looking like through 8. Oh no, it's through 6.
Through 6, yeah.
Fatso definitely has a much more pronounced lead than he had last time. I think it was about 2 seconds.
Actually, I think prisi was up. I think prisi was up
it?
too, going into Snake last time. Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely got himself a lead here. He's actually having a very good 8 robots here.
They were both under. They were both under 16.
Yeah, he
last
was like
time, right?
1648 versus 1650. I think Fatso's probably on. I think Fatso's probably on track to beat those 2 times here. This is an interesting stage because there's just a lot to it. There, like, as much as the stage that you skip with Rush Jet, you would think that it's consistent or hard to pick up or lose much time, but I find that there's just so many like minor things you have to do in this stage that it's easy to just lose 3 or 4 seconds here without even thinking that you did that much wrong.
They were talking about, and we see prisi at one of these big snakes now. We were talking about that in the other semifinal, that there's a potential skip of those without having to go above them.
Yeah, you can actually zip through them. That would be the fastest strat there. It would be to use Jet to fly over to the snake. You can slide while on Jet on like the moving like platforms, and then like zip right through. It's really, really hard to do consistently, but it's probably a full second faster if you do it optimally.
Is that something that you're going to be putting in soon when you come back for record event?
So here's the problem with it. The giant snake can shoot. Good fight for Fatso.
Yeah.
Got the best pattern. He can shoot 2, 3, or 4 bullets. On the 4 bullet pattern, it's pretty much impossible to do it. So you're kind of gambling if you do. I don't. Yeah. 3 out of 4 absolute best patterns so far. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. It seems like something that's a little risky to do RTA, but I think it's probably going to be something that's going to be in runs in the future.
Snake and snake. It didn't go. There it goes. All right, so Kyle and I were kind of discussing this. Like, what second time through Spark? What do we talk about?
So there's so there's different strats you can use in Spark. Most of them all amount to about the same time, but there's some that are slightly faster. You can switch. If you don't switch to magnet at all, you have the benefit of cutting out a menu there. But it's a little slower to kill some of these enemies. You can kill the Met dozer with magnet, but that could potentially leave you with not enough ammo for the junk block. And then you can deboost that first Hammer Joe, which would save you the ammo that you need to kill the Met dozer and everything else in case you don't need to drop. But that's slightly slower and also very difficult. So I don't know. It's a stage that has a lot of different ways to play it, but unfortunately, like all those different ways probably like don't change the stage by more than half a second.
I like what Fatso did there. He ran out of magnet. Either he shot one incorrectly or didn't realize he was short on ammo, and he changed to Shadow Blade for the last hit, and it didn't cost him any time.
Yeah, I think he may have killed the Met Dozer.
Mm.
I'm trying to remember now. But yeah, if so, that leaves you a little bit short. And so if he got one drop and killed the Met Dozer, that would put him at exactly that. So 1642 teleport for Fatso. He had that's really good.
And a 1652.
Okay, so we got 10 seconds going into Doc Robos. Definitely, that's a gap that can be made up just by pure execution. But it goes without saying that a death obviously turns the tides and probably changes the lead if Fatso dies as well. We're gonna see him go to different ones again, but it's nice that they're gonna sync up again after 2 Doc robots.
Yeah. That's I didn't see did he do the quote unquote 100% or did he do the standard music deboost?
He does the standard one that's slightly faster to set up.
Are we going to see any clutch slides here as well?
Nope. So basically, each one saves you about 10 frames, except for one that saves you 25 frames. And if you think that the 25 frames is going to make the difference in your race, then all the power to you. But it's probably not.
I was going to say, you don't seem like you're convinced that...
Yeah, I mean, I'm one that believes... I mean, in RTA, you can go for whatever you want. In races, you can go for whatever you want too, but you're going to have a lot more success typically as a tournament racer if you know how to scale back just a little bit. Just scale back on the things that save you only 20 frames and can kill your run. The less things that can kill you, the better. Yeah.
Your EV percentage drops significantly.
Yeah, I mean, your success rate better be really, really high. That's all I'm saying. Alright, we're about to see a couple fights with an RNG component in them.
Yep.
Bubble can give you 1, 2, or 3 bubbles, which the difference between the best and worst is about 70 frames, a little over a second. Difference between the best and worst heat pattern, if you execute correctly, is about... Ooh, you got the fire slide.
That looked like 90. 60, I think.
Not the best pattern, but he got a good subpixel to be able to slide into the fire, so that saved him some time. I don't think either of these runners are that far from their PB pace.
Yeah.
This is I just am not seeing that many mistakes. This is just really good runs. Prisi might be a little bit behind it, but yeah, I don't know. They're both playing very well. Fatso with the standard setup. I guess I'll call it the non-Darko setup.
Sorry, I was defending myself and my tracker usage in the chat.
Oh, definitely. Someone needs to put that guy in his place.
I like that final needle in Doc Gemini in that first screen.
Yeah, so that's what happens if you don't get a drop. If you get one small drop, you can actually kill the last guy with Magnet, and you get a little bit better movement that way. But switching to needle is a good backup.
I think Prissy has missed that one egg both times, and have to halfway goes the slide and have to go back.
Yeah, Fatso had to cancel somewhere in the middle and kill the last egg.
This wood fight is not random.
Oh man, he was just a little too early on one of the shots and threw the whole thing off. Prisi on the Doc flash fight. He's a big reason why that fight exists in its current form.
Which one?
The Doc flash fight where you kind of slide up and jump over.
Yeah,
pretty similar to how that's. Sorry, go ahead.
They made the Doc robot actually bigger hitbox.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Bigger counterpart. It makes it really difficult to actually not get hit by him, especially in Flash. Doc Wood's hard too.
30-90 for Fatso. Yeah, no, they still hit like trucks. Like Wood and Quickman do 8 damage on body contact. Wood's leaf shield does 8, and the leaf shield is bigger too because the boss's hitbox bigger, so it's harder to jump over.
2 is the worst, right? 2 bubbles.
3 is the worst.
3 is the worst. Okay.
Yeah, the more bubbles, the more lag, basically. 2 is a lot closer to 3 in terms of time than it is to 1. So you really want 1. You're going to save about a second on both patterns.
All right, I didn't see the lead that Fatso had. Let's see.
You're
Going up that
19
ladder is 22:10. 19 seconds? Okay.
Yeah. So 9 seconds picked up on those first 2 difficult
Yeah.
top robot stages. Fatso made a similar gain last time too.
Something like that, yeah.
Those are 2 of the harder stages in the game for sure.
And then Prissy had, I think, a little bit better first couple Wileys, and then the machine happened because he wasn't ahead by 19 seconds going into the Wiley machine. It was only 8 or 9.
Yeah, Prissy caught up some on refights. I think Fatso's biggest lead was like
that's right.
14 seconds or something like that. And then Fatso had a rough hardman fight. Fatso, so the first parachute that he killed there left a drop on the ledge, which just continuously caused lag as he flew away from it. If you kill the guy right away, the drop will fall in the pit, and it'll save you a lot of time. Just little things.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to do though. Like if you're, especially depending on like how he spawns, because their drop height is partially RNG.
Yeah, it does look like Prissy's making a few more errors. He's getting hit a lot more. Not like movement errors, but just not killing enemies when they're supposed to. He's getting hit a lot more.
Yeah, he's getting excited about race number 3.
Well, it looks like we're an Easy Devil or a Wiley Machine mistake away from being tied again.
So interestingly, as I'm racing somebody else, I am tracking my progress versus them if I'm within a missed devil of them or not. Like 18 seconds is a really big number. If you're more than that behind your opponent, they can fail the devil and you'll still be behind.
You do realize you were about 18 seconds ahead of Darko going into your first race going into the Yellow Devil?
I did know that, yes.
That's why it was so fun, because it was even going into the next stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very, very fun. Glad you guys had fun.
Well, yeah. All right. So
I think Fatso picked up even a little bit more time in that Doc Needle stage. So we're probably looking at a little over 20 seconds. If I had to guess. Dog Spark's a pretty difficult. 25 seconds is what we're looking at now. This is a pretty difficult stage. You're probably not too likely to die here. But you just if you try to slide through the drop at the end of the stage, that can definitely kill you. But if you're not going for the music despawn, Prisi got a large drop here. So Security fights Quickman with Gemini Laser.
Yeah, they came up in the last race, and I think since Snake Man is so much more comfortable, a lot of people would go, because I can't remember who it was, had the enough ammo to do it with Gemini, but still went with Snake, probably because of just the comfort level.
Yeah, I think my Snake fight is faster.
Ooh, did he get it? He went for the backup.
Nice. Good job, Fatso.
Yeah, he got the backup music despawn. That's going to save him a second or two there.
Yeah, that's impressive.
All right.
Yeah, basically, I don't think we've described it yet, but there's a safe pixel and there's a risky pixel. The safe one is 50-50. 50% chance you'll get it, 50% chance you won't, but you won't die. The other one, you have about a 5 and 6 chance. Yeah, to do with snakes. Prissy didn't slide through the Baron drop there. The other one, you have an 83% chance of getting it, but then the 17% that you don't, you'll die. So that's definitely not race safe. So no matter how much you think 1 in 6 is not that much, it definitely can and will cost you over a minute. Whoa,
26,
that snake's all over the place. So yeah, Prisi obviously feeling a little bit more comfortable using snake there.
Yeah. 26-33 Brakeman split. How does that compare to yours?
I have no idea. I just heard a bunch of gibberish come out of your mouth just now. It's hard for me to even decipher it.
And a 59, it looks like. So
we're one really, really bad turtle maker and one yellow devil kill apart right now.
Or some weird death.
Yeah. There's definitely some weird deaths you can take.
Just Wily 1 is something that's possible.
Wily 1 is probably the most common place you're going to die in the 6. There's some weird things that can happen with bees in Wily 2. I've seen some deaths in Wily 2. Beyond that, I don't know.
Very solid screen now.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see what he meant to do last time, but he didn't quite get the D boost. Prisi killing those top dispensers on the first screen of Wily 1. If you mash well enough, that's actually faster. The standard strat is to deboost him there. Again, it's a really hard strat to save time with, but.
What about this yogurt block section here with the rush jet? How does that? I guess it zips you out of the block if you are on it when it spawns.
Yeah, it kind of like pushes you up to the top. They're a little bit more generous than like Mega Man 2's blocks, which like you can be in the middle of the block and you'll just fall through.
Worst.
To me, the worst RNG in this fight is those stupid tornadoes.
Yeah, worst. Oh man,
that's a pretty bad pattern right there.
Yeah, that's terrible turtles. All right, Prissy going with Shadow Blade there.
I feel like I get a left first turtle like 85% of the time. Okay, this is not bad.
Yeah, pretty average. Oh, and he missed though.
Prissy is very aggressive with the Shadow Blade strat. So the turtles will come out in a predetermined direction. So it'll be left and then right, left, right. Prizzy's standing directly underneath and just trying to hit the turtle as soon as it spawns, and that means for like the fast-moving turtles, if he's a little bit late, he's gonna miss them entirely. Whereas if you shade it a little bit to the side, you have a chance to hit it even if you're a little slow.
So I think Prissy probably picked up a second or two at best. Fatso had a terrible pattern, but Prissy
we went from 26 to 24, so you called it.
Yeah.
So it's nice when you're up 24 going into Devil because you know you can miss it, but obviously you still don't want that.
Six?
5 and 4.
That was 5 and 4. Ooh.
That was 5 and 4.
Wow.
So that's 18 seconds. Now we're talking about maybe a 6-second difference.
Yeah. Prissy has to get it though.
Woo, these races are too much. Okay, so there's the kill there. Let's see. Okay.
7-3. All right. We're back into shouting distance.
Yep, we're talking about 5 or 6 seconds right here. All right, let's see the KLM room. Oh, Fatso going for the gutsy strat there, and he got it. Last time Prizzy just went between second and third. Ooh!
Oh, he got it. Nice.
So he did it with a slide cancel there. Little different tech. But yeah, that was kind of sketchy. Well, okay, so I'm going to be pretty excited if we're 5 or 6 seconds difference going into the refights, because, again, I think Prizzy's refights are slightly better than Fatso's. And so if we're close going into that, we might see... Ooh, that's a missed
problem
coil.
in the Frogger room.
That's going to be a couple seconds.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. Got this kill at 08.
Okay.
That one at 13. 5 seconds.
Whew.
Prisi does have the second fastest recorded refights. So watch out here.
That includes this opening section, correct?
Yes. Yeah, from teleport to teleport, basically.
Ooh, Prissy missed the wiggle. How much is that wiggle save or lose time?
Like less than a half a second. Not a big one. The bigger rooms are like these jumps there. The Prissy just missed the first one.
They both went 2 for 3.
Yeah, those save a little bit of time. How you attack the golem saves a little bit of time. These guys have very different snake fights, but they accomplish the same thing. Again, Fatso got the best pattern from Snake.
Yeah, no,
and again,
no snakes.
Prissy got the second best again. Both executed very well on that fight. Ooh, good pattern from Shadow. Very good fight. Ooh, that's a dangerous one. Prissy wisely pulled back there and wasn't too aggressive because that was a pattern that could have drained his top spin. It's hard to tell in a split second whether you can go for it or not. See if Fatso does a little better on this fight this time. Okay, he didn't turn too early. Last time he shot like 2 magnets to the left. Alright. Okay. Fatso does Prizzy's fight there. Does it well? Prizzy does Prizzy's fight better. Interesting needle fight there. Okay. Good needle from Prizzy. It's pulling closer, but Fatso's having a good enough refight. He did stop to get that health.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a little bit less, though. I think he only had 4.
Ooh, movement mistake there. That's going to be costly when it's this close. Fatso gets the best pattern there. Prizzy gets it as well. Ooh. Okay, so Fatso mostly maintains his lead here.
36. Prissy at 41. It was a late 36, so it's about 4.5 seconds.
Yeah, so here we are again.
Yeah.
So with the slight lead going into the machine. We'll see if the practice paid off. Okay, good first phase for Fatso. Ooh, he got the 0
Oh, he just
it was a
barely
little
got
sketchy. It was a little sketchy, but he got it. Okay,
And
so he should be
Prissy-
feeling pretty safe. I mean, you can lose 5 seconds on Gamma. Especially because Fatso uses Snake and not topspin, but his double mashing is pretty consistent. So I'm expecting Fatso to hold on here. I think we're looking at 34 from both runners again.
Mm-hmm. Although Fatso's mistake cost like 35 flat, like that's a terrible time too.
Right.
Oh, Fatso went with snakes.
GG Fatso. 34.47, which means without the missed devil, that's 34.29, which would be a PB for him by 5 seconds. That's how good his run was.
Yeah, official
GG
race
both runners.
time.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. 34.48 for Colonel Fatso and 34.54 for Prissy. Excuse me, for Prissy. Now, by the way, the last race for Prissy was a best race time for him.
Oh,
Previous
nice.
best was 35.07 and now went down to so Prissy with a 34.53 and a 34.54 so far.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and then Colonel Fatso with a 35 flat and a 34.48.
Right. And I mean, really, we know RaceBot is slow, so we've had nothing but 34s.
Yeah. You know what that means, right? We get a third race.
Wow.
We get a tiebreaker race.
Can't believe we get another one like that.
Yeah, I mean, woo.
Which quick kill is Fatso going to miss this time?
Fatso said he golded Doc Gemini
Nice.
in a race. And Prissy golded Wily 2 and Wily 3.
These guys playing their best when it matters. I mean, that's
Oh, yeah.
that's really something. when they're within 15 seconds of their PBs, basically.
Yeah.
In a race.
Yeah, this is exciting, isn't it? Like at this point, it's they're both almost equal. Like you can't really say anything other than they're pretty much equal so far. These two
Right.
races, and it definitely fits that they're 1-1. Now there's no. In this case, is there any holding back, or do you just play the same way?
I mean, I think you have to play the same, don't you? Like if you've just had 234.50s or 34.40s, like you have to feel like if you do that again, you're probably gonna win. Like, can your opponent keep playing this well?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would be thinking. Like, but I don't think we'll see anything different. I think they both had two races that were both good enough to win, and I think they just need to stay the course and expect that if they have another similar time, that that'll put them on top.
All right, Fatso needs to take a small break. I kind of need to take a small break too. I wonder how yeah, I guess they have commercial breaks. That's the thing. The announcers in sports have commercial breaks. They can use the restroom, right? So we should take a commercial break here. Get that music playing again, and we'll be back in about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, I think, maybe earlier, for the rubber match between these two. This isn't even the finals, everybody. This is just to get into the finals. So, yeah, we will be right back to, bring you the last match. Well, I hope all the viewers out there don't really have anything they have to be at in the next 40 minutes. And they can, you guys can stay and watch the rubber match between these two. If you just got here, the first race was Fatso had a generally decent lead, picked up mostly in dock stages, and moved ahead by about 10 seconds or so, but then missed the correct Wily machine kill and fell behind by 7 seconds, and that was the final margin. I think was 7 seconds. And then in the second race, Fatso built up a much bigger lead to about 24 seconds, I think it was, and then missed the Yellow Devil kill and only ended up being ahead 6, and then Wily was only up by about 4.5 seconds. And now but Fatso was able to hang on and get the victory. And so now we're going to do the final race between the two. It does seem so far that it's been kind of a determined by Fatso. Prisi's just playing solid, but Fatso's determining the winner based on whether or not he's making the big enough mistake or not. And they are off. They both said good luck after the race bot said go. So I don't know if that's collusion among the between the two to start at the right time or not. But we are off. And as Fast mentioned, who's the other one with me? I guess I never say who I am when I'm doing it. I guess I figure everybody knows who I am. That's kind of my personality, though, isn't it?
Sure hope so.
Yeah.
The official voice of the Mega Man 3 tournament semifinal.
Yeah. What do you expect to see in this final race?
I don't know. Can we see a third race where neither runner dies and they both get 34s? Like I have to feel like at some point somebody's gonna blink here. Like I hate to predict that, but I don't know. I just don't even know that we can have a third match as good as those two. But I'm hoping we do. I'm really hoping we do.
Yeah, 3 straight race. That would be. I agree with you that it would be very. It'd be. I don't want to say unlikely, but it would be. I think it's a bit surprising if they have, like, even like you got the Yellow Devil mistake, but there are no other major time-losing mistakes. I mean, you've had 2 of them, and that's it. One of them cost Fatso the race, and one of them didn't. So.
Right. Yeah, I mean, in such a heavy platforming game, when you're playing a sliding Mega, you're trying to slide as much as possible. So that means you're jumping out of slides like while you're hanging over a pit, and you're jumping to land on the left edge of platforms, and you're doing that throughout 18 stages, and it's really incredible if you can get through the whole thing without dying. And then for both of these runners to do it just so consistently is very, very impressive. Fatso not getting quite as lucky with this magnet pattern here. I guess a good one to end it. So a little slower than his last 2 magnets, but
I was able to. Man, I'm getting spot on with these trackers now.
Oh man, getting to become an old pro.
Yeah, it's amazing. All right. I guess out of these 2, Shadow Man is the one to look at for this particular stage. Get to see the top. I know you've come up with how safe is your strat through the parachute section in your RTA strat?
It's
more
pretty,
race strat.
Yeah, it's pretty safe. The race strat. Ooh, we got the bees.
Our first
It's
bees.
the first time we can knock the bees in chat.
Yeah.
See, when runners don't mess up, it's not as fun.
Yeah. Yeah. You just got to take advantage of them when they actually happen. That's all. Not the bees! I was asked by Call Precise this in the other semifinal. How could I possibly do 3 matches in a row? Isn't it draining? Yes, it is. But yeah, and we get this last race. We might get a little bit punchy, given the importance, I suppose, of this match in the tournament thing. How safe was that? I don't know. It doesn't seem like Prissy is very. Let me ask you this:
He makes his determination really early on whether he can cross or not. Because basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to turn right before you hit the parachute because it'll push you, the other direction. And depending on how low it spawns, you can feel pretty confident in your ability to get across. So, I think his is pretty safe. It's not always going to be fast, but he's willing to pull the ripcord on it when he doesn't feel confident in it.
Okay.
Whereas mine should be just about the same every time. They're both going to be slower than your normal RTA strat. But it's whatever gets you across there.
So I think in our last race, they were pretty even after these 2 stages, even though the 2 aren't quite the same as far as stage. So it looks like Prissy is probably a little bit ahead right now.
Yeah, he's had a stronger first two stages than Fatso, definitely. That's kind of similar, I think, to our first race. I think Prisi's robots looked a little stronger there. But consistently, we've seen Fatso pull ahead in the Doc Robo stages. So I think if you're him, you want to just feel like you can keep it close until then.
Mm-hmm. You were mentioning about Prissy in the room I was thinking about, which is, I think, 2 from here. I got to zip again.
Yeah, watch his strat here. I think he should shoot 3. Oh, never mind. He does in his RTA. I think that's something that he pulled back for this race. But normally, a lot of times he'll jump after he lands on the eggs. He'll shoot a 3rd tadpole and then jump up, so that he only has to shoot 4 shots up top instead of 6.
All right, can you do it 3 straight times in a row?
Yeah, I want to see his blocks here because he's had 2 kind of sketchy ones, but he survived them. Some of these slides, he's starting really late on the block, but he's got such a good feel for the timing. In Mega Man 3, after you've started the slide, you can't jump out during the first 8 frames of the slide. So you have to jump quickly, obviously, but you can't jump too quickly or you'll lose your jump input. So he's demonstrating there that he has a very good feel for that, timing. Ooh, Fatso lands on the last top. His jump across was too good. After nailing a couple of Gemini fights, Prizzy's struggling a little bit with that one.
Yep. All right. Yeah, Fatso's well behind on his splits. You can see by the red on his timer that he's much farther back than he was last time. Prissy's probably maintaining a small lead, even though with the bad Gemini fight.
Just to get overly technical with you guys, because we mentioned it in the first race, but when Fatso pauses to switch to hard knuckle below the top, what's happening there is when you unpause from a menu, there's 10 frames of just teleport animation where everything around you moves. So basically, he's pausing below the top, and then as he's unteleporting, the top comes down to his level, and he can actually jump off of it, even though it looks like he's about to die.
If you know you're going to miss it, you can pause again, right? And save it?
No.
You can't?
Actually, no, I take that back. You can. Yes.
Do you have to change to a different weapon?
Prissy, what are you doing? Stop getting hit by that dragonfly. Yeah, sorry, you can pause again. It causes you a menu, but if you haven't already started falling, because it doesn't reset your fall velocity like Mega Man 2. But yeah, as long as you're still kind of at the peak of your jump, you can pause again. Prizzy now Dragonfly in IRC chat 1 letter at a time.
Yeah. They're both. I think they're both. I don't want to say emotionally drained. Yeah, I don't think they're both emotionally drained per se, but they're definitely been affected by these first 2 matches. They are not in the same state that they were at the beginning of this this matchup.
Yeah, I would agree with that. 806 leaving Needle is not so bad for Prizzy. I'm sure Fatso's not super happy with his first few stages, but either of them probably both knows that if they play at their best the rest of this, they'll probably be victorious. So it's because it's still so early in the run.
Especially since both of them are kind of saying, so both of them know that the other one is not playing as well as the last 2 matchups so far. But that's what match play is all about. It doesn't matter how well you play; it's how well you play and compared to your opponent.
Yeah, Prizzy with those sweet slide cancels on for Screen of Magnet. Yet again, another beautiful proto fight.
Like he was a good 10, 15 pixels seemingly from the right wall.
Well, the thing that he did well there is he killed him right before he landed, because it is a cycle-based fight. If he's just started to jump, he will complete the jump before he teleports out. Yeah. So he hit him right as he landed, and he just pieced out.
I like that.
Ooh, that's awkward. Okay.
Yeah,
Fatso got hit by a tadpole, which is kind of a bad place to
Yeah.
be, but he still managed to rescue the zip. We didn't see a missed zip in Gemini. Also, he got the frame perfect. I didn't see if he got it in the first match, but definitely in matches 2 and 3, Fatso got the frame perfect jump up the ladder there.
Ugh. Low health now for Fatso. He's probably gonna have to buff for that.
Prisi gets the bad pattern. Fatso. See, his single blocks look a lot cleaner. Like his landing spot on these blocks is, he's way to the left, which gives him a lot more time to jump out of the slide. Whereas Prisi started a couple of them, like in every match, he started a couple from like the middle. Buffering the shots to jump over the stomper, because if he failed that, he definitely would have died.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like 7 or 8 health. I think that's 8. And did Fatso get his fight? Almost. He missed one shot along the ground, but still, that's a very good fight.
So Hardman versus Needle. Needle is a little bit faster than Hardman.
Needle's actually a lot faster. So Hardman's about 210. Needle's about 140. So I'm
really?
about 30. Yeah, it's about 30 seconds.
Prisi's been in there a little while, so I still think Prisi's probably a little bit ahead at this point.
That would jive with what I've seen.
Yeah.
That was a nice deboost for Prisi there on the monkey.
We kind of brought it up because we just passed it in Hardman stage.
Large refills. Sorry, go ahead.
That the long ladder thing with the rush coil that is not used anymore.
Oh yeah.
What is the time save on that?
So there's a couple different versions of it. There was a version I used to do that was pretty safe, where you kind of bonk your head on the ceiling and it saves about 15 frames. There's a version that only Cool Kid is consistent at, that saves about 45, and you coil all the way up the ladder. I don't know. Because of the potential failure for missing that, like, I can't think of too many people who I would recommend go for that. You'd have to have a pretty high success rate. But yeah, because it's basically frame perfect to do that correctly. All right. So we see that Prisi's ahead.
Mm-hmm. And then Needle.
Looking like probably about 6 seconds. So we saw in the first race that Prisi left 8 robots ahead, and then Fatso was ahead in the second one, and Prisi trying to turn the tables here.
Yeah.
Snake and Spark being fairly consistent stages where you should maintain the 6-second lead, but Snake definitely the more volatile of the two.
Yeah. 5.5 to 6 seconds, it's looking like to me.
Yeah.
Oof. Again, there's no surprises going to happen in these two stages. They're not going to try to pull out some weird strat or anything like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's really, like, so you can try to tighten your movement up. There are strats you can do that can save you time, but there's just nothing so dramatic in Mega Man 3 that, you know, I think you would want to change your approach if you're behind to add strats in, because, like, the most you're going to save on one of those strats is probably a second and a half, and if it's that close, then you probably would want to just try to catch up through clean execution rather than, you know, going crazy with strats. With the exception of, like, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I don't. I'm.
Oh, I was gonna say, like,
exception?
I was gonna say, like, if you're within a second for those last 2 quick kills, there's definitely different ways to do those. But you'd have to know that it was that close for it to be worth it.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell exactly because you don't, because of the stream delays.
Definitely.
That you don't know. Yeah, you don't know for absolute certain if you're actually behind or something like that.
Sure. But it's nice that Fiesel captures the timer on the restream and then syncs them. So someone watching the restream gets a pretty good idea of how close they are.
They're still, I mean, the restream is still a good 20 seconds behind.
Sure, but you can see at the end of one stage, like by the time you have to make your decision, probably by the time like you teleport out and
I see, yeah.
you get the intro into the next stage, you probably maybe have your information. So Fatso gets the worst pattern. I didn't see Prisi's pattern.
Prisi's was he jumped on the middle.
Okay, so he got the middle pattern.
Yeah, the middle.
Middle, both, and whatever. Something. Words are failing me. Words are your thing.
I'll keep type-lipped from that at the moment. But, alright. We're coming into Spark again. I said this earlier, it's like, we're on our third time through Spark. Is this going to be dead air for the next 2 minutes?
Yeah, we should just not talk. So it looks like they're both going to come up with sub 17 8 robos again, which means they're 34 pace again. Like we're basically just continuously are watching just greatness and consistency over and over. I notice all the very little things in Spark. Like Fatso's slide jump to the ladder was as like good as it can be. It's like if you jump out on the slide on your very last frame, you can grab the ladder a little higher, and because you climb fairly slow, that type of thing makes a difference. But really, that's all Spark is just very like small movement optimizations that they sure can add up over the course of an entire stage, but it's probably not going to be a game-breaking stage for anybody.
Yeah. We're halfway. We're not even halfway through the run. It's. I guess just kind of. Oh my!
No way! No way!
Wow.
That's really unfortunate. That's probably a 35-second death or something like that.
Yeah. We've been saying how punchless Sparkman stage has, and that's the. That's where the death occurs.
Like, it's just, I don't know. I mean, that's the first death we've seen from either runner. For it to be in Spark is shocking to me.
Yeah.
I would have bet on a needle death before I would one in Spark. And that's the stage.
I was going to say, you're kind of going... I wonder if... I don't know. It's just kind of mindless through Spark. I don't know what... Alright, well... If you're Fatso, and you've learned of this death, what are you doing now?
If I'm Fatso, I don't change anything. He's played so well today that I would just approach everything the way he's been doing, because he's other than 2 quick kills, he's made very few missteps today, and no major ones. So yeah, I would just stay the course. That's all you can do.
I mean, this race isn't over. I mean, it is on Fatso's, using a sports reference. It is on his, it is on his club. It's his to lose or win at this point.
Right.
But there's still, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the actual time is after they both finish these 2 dock stages.
Ooh, Fatso
now, if you're Prisi, are you doing anything different, or just you've already had the loss of time, and since it's pretty much on Fatso's end now, you just got to be solid at this point?
Pretty much.
If you lose, if you do another mistake, a big time loss mistake, it's obviously over.
Yeah, when you're within one mistake, like he is, you pretty much have to just play for your opponent to make that mistake and put yourself in a position to take advantage of it. I mean, you can try to tighten things up, but I don't think even if Prisi tightens his movement up as much as he can, that it's like he's not going to overcome a 20-second deficit just from that. He's going to need his opponent to kind of help him out a little bit. So you might as well, since you have to hope for that anyway, just play for your opponent to make a mistake, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. If there was some sort of weird thing where you could save time, maybe go for it. But there's, you're better off just having, because Fatso's execution is not going to drop to a point where you're going to catch up with great execution without him making a major error.
Yeah, probably not. It seems like it would be pretty unlikely.
Yeah.
Whew, okay, well, so we're gonna sync up after this stage, and then they'll be
Shadow's
on the same
one
route.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Shadow's one of the mid length, and Gemini's the longest.
Right. Actually, I think Shadow and Spark are probably the two fastest, and then Needle and Gemini are considerably slower. Yeah. I really enjoy seeing this first screen of Doc Gemini.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although our runners today are not doing it the greatest justice.
Oh, I think
it's a really tough screen.
Yeah, in a race setting, yeah, the idea is to get through it, not to ace it.
Definitely, we had no deaths in the first screen of Doc Gemini today, which is
like I said when I was doing
win.
When I was doing it during the group stages, it was about 60% deaths on that screen. So it's quite a difficult screen.
So I wonder if Fatso not having a 20-second lead would have used an E-Tank there. He definitely was lower on health than normal, but I think he still could have survived 2 hits from Wood. And so that's a little bit of an unusual decision. Not unusual, but just like out of the norm. I think it probably something influenced by his lead, which again I definitely would agree with.
Did he use an E-Tank? I didn't see.
He used one right before the Wood fight.
Oh, I see. So he absolutely 100% knows that prisi died. If he's using an E-Tank.
I would assume so, yes.
Yeah.
Could be mistaken.
All right, let's see what Fatso gets here. Looks like a 60.
60,
60, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody getting their double hits in on Heatman. That's good.
All right, so he clicks on his next one at 54. We'll see what it looks like. Prisi's going to be about half a minute behind.
I don't think. Did we see a one bubble pattern?
I don't think so.
I feel like Bubble Man was a jerk today.
Yeah, and a 15 for prisi, so about a half a minute behind. I mean, I suppose I failed Yellow Devil and then really bad Turtles? Good to even it up.
Yeah, I think it would be a little bit more than that even.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Prisi's really played
Baron
well
says
since.
21, which that definitely was within the margin of a Yellow Devil and...
Is that 21 second death or 21 seconds behind? Because I'm pretty sure it was a half minute behind.
Was it? I didn't see the time, sorry. We'll see. 56 kill for Airman right there. Fatso has a unique Airman fight, by the way. I quite like it. Ooh. So prisi is pretty unique as well. Actually, I really like that fight too. That was a very good fight.
Well, maybe it is closer to 20 seconds, yeah. My math is impeccable.
That's right, you're a language guy. With your puns. These Dragonfly despawns. Like, prisi's losing a lot of time in this screen right now.
It's like the same result too, that like they're just barely not despawning. That's what happened on his last one. Just barely missing. But yeah, prisi had a not significant, but he had a noticeable lead, so that death cost him, but not. I guess it didn't cripple him. I guess we kind of put him out for the count, but you know, a couple mid-range mistakes might get him back into it.
Yeah, actually, I mean, you'd probably say he's been the better executor in this fight as well.
Yeah.
Or sorry, in this race.
This race, yeah. Oh yeah, I agree with that.
But as we saw in the first one, where Fatso was and didn't win the race, you know, that's no guarantee.
Yeah. That didn't seem like the best fight for Prissy there. Am I wrong in thinking that?
No, that wasn't fantastic.
Lots of on the ground stuff, lots of waiting in between. Well, at least comparatively.
Fatso got a really annoying drop from that first enemy. We're looking at 24 seconds. Yeah, we've seen 24 seconds before.
But in this situation, if you're Prissy, you've got to feel like last race he wasn't playing as well, and I guess he was playing okay, but like I don't know if his execution's been great to be only 24 seconds behind. It's that death that cost him. I would feel a bit more confident in my ability to catch up, knowing that I've been playing well this race, just one mistake, and I'm, you know, closer behind. So I know I wouldn't want to be behind, obviously, in the third match, but
good fight for Prissy there.
Ooh, Prissy went for it. I don't think he got it because it looks like he went for a backup.
Yeah, I don't think he made it. Yeah, definitely too much lag here. Yeah, playing without the sound, all I can do is just look at how slow the game is running.
Yeah.
That's usually my clue.
Oh, I forgot this one. 48.
That's a really bad pattern from Quick.
Fatso didn't have the greatest Breakman fight either. Proto Man, whatever.
Yeah, Prizzies are usually pretty good here.
I said 48, right? Yeah, 48.
Oh. So he missed 3 shots out to the right, and you can only have 3 bullets on 17. Screen. So then he turned to fire. There was nothing to fire. So yeah, 28 coming into castles.
28, yeah.
Fatso again. Every race he has picked up significant time in Doc Robots.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know, most people would probably say that's the hardest part of the speed run, and the game casually. So that's great work by him to just consistently pick up time during that section.
The funny thing is that didn't really cost him or gain him. That's the interesting thing, is like he didn't win or lose because of having better Doc Robots.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You would think that something like Dark Robots would determine a race like that, but it...
Yeah, there's enough stuff that can go wrong in other parts of the run. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think among the classic Mega community, it's pretty easy to say that the castle stages in Mega Man 3 are free. And they're definitely easier than what precedes it, but there's a lot that you have to do properly here. There's definitely been a lot of good PBs lost in these castles from, a lot of different runners.
All right, a right going one. Let's see. That's best.
Second best?
Second best, yeah.
That's a worst.
That's worst.
Second worst.
Worst.
And that's best.
Best. All right. It's pretty average, slightly below average.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah. If you're ahead, you'll take that every time. Ooh, bad start there. With the second worst.
Oh man, worst.
That's worst.
And the bad whirlpool.
Yeah.
When you're using Shadow Blade, the whirlpools take on more importance. They can block your blades. Yeah, that's
pretty
Not the best.
slow. I think he lost time there a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I
so
mean, it
there's
wasn't
4.
catastrophic, but it didn't
No,
help
there's-
him any.
Right. There's 4 different speeds the turtles can come out at. Basically, each of those is, I want to say 48 frames apart. So for each of the 5 turtles, there's almost 3 seconds of difference between the best and the worst one. 48? I don't remember now.
All right, Fatso, you know this is pretty much game, set, match if you get this.
Oh, he turned!
Oh, and he didn't even. Oh, this could be a problem. Is he gonna have issues? You should E-tank and then just do the mashing strat, right?
I think he'll be okay. So basically, if you stand on the ground and mash diagonally up at the devil, as long as you don't inch into his foot, you're okay. But he's got to be careful not to do that!
Oh no!
Oh my goodness. What am I watching here?
You called it too.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what-
that's the
man.
only thing in that situation you need to avoid. Like, that's... I can say this as someone who's done 35,000 attempts of this game, that, like, you just... That's the one thing you cannot have happen there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
When the safe throw
That's
string because you were...
No.
That death
Wow,
affected him,
that's
obviously.
really that's unfortunate. So what happened with Fatso
Yeah.
there, and this is something I've seen from a few runners, definitely happens to me a lot. He didn't hold straight up on the first jump. So his first jump went okay, but then he was turned and facing the wrong direction. So then he got deboosted in a way where he couldn't just jump straight up and mash on his second shot. And that makes it really hard to recover from.
Mm-hmm.
It's that
Yeah,
NES
I would
D-pad.
just. You knew you were ahead. Just E-tank and redo the mashing technique, just opposite side, and that's guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah. That retrospect, definitely not a bad choice.
Yeah.
Especially given how much of a lead he had. You know,
And when you're prissy, that's why you do what you do. He played extremely solid, didn't make any major mistake afterward, and just kept going and waited for his... Because, like you were saying, the likelihood of 3 straight races without a major mistake is just very low.
Yeah, I can say
It's
if
gonna
I
be
were
hard.
in Fatso's position, I would not have E-tanked there. So, like, I agree with the decision not to do that. The weird thing about... So, basically, you're holding up and left and you're mashing B, right? So, in between Shadow Blade throws, like, after you throw the Shadow Blade, you're stuck to the ground for a little bit. But then you become unstuck. So, you have a tendency while you're holding up and left and B and mashing to kind of inch forward a little bit. He started a little closer. He started a little closer to the devil than I would probably recommend. And so, yeah, it just really unfortunate. It probably not something that's happened to him more than, 1 or 2 other times, if that.
I mean, the only reason I would recommend that is not because he still had 4 hits. I mean, I know the inch forward, I was expecting that, but it's just probably more than he's used to doing, right? If it was 2 or 3, it wouldn't have been a problem, but he had so many more hits to get yet that was definitely something that could have happened.
Oh, that's right. He may not have had an E-tank because of the one he used in wood.
Oh, that's true.
Didn't even think of
Don't
that.
you usually get 2, though? Don't you get 2 for free? You get the one in Hard Man, for sure. And isn't there another one you pick up? Or am I just...
think that's the only one that you
Oh,
would
maybe,
get in
okay.
the normal routing.
So that might that answers that question then. Wow, what an interesting final race.
Oh my goodness, I just can't even believe like how
Yeah.
how much the Wily Castle stages have
Yeah, it's been
impacted
Wily
races.
Castles, all 3 races, huh?
Yeah, and really they were a
Well, the
big
second
deal
one was
in
kinda-
the other semifinal too.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Prisi was just trying to not die.
Yeah.
Because there's no checkpoint in Wily 2 either. So when you die to the Yellow Devil, you're going back to the beginning of the stage, and that's a huge time loss. So it would take more than 1 death after that.
Prissy gonna get us up? No, he's not. No, he's
With the death to
yeah.
Hard hardman stage is the only thing that's preventing this from being another 34. Would you believe we had 2 deathless races and then they both died in the same race?
Yeah.
It's just funny how that goes.
So is there any reason to either way to shoot the search snakes on that fight? I know
Left
you
or
go
right?
to the left. Yeah.
Right is probably actually better for a couple reasons. One, you don't have to turn mid-jump, which is just one less input you have to do. 2, they'll disappear off the screen a little faster, which removes a little bit of lag. That said, it gives you a much smaller timing window to shoot the lag snakes at the proper time so that they don't disappear and, remove the lag that you're trying to create, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. All right, and here it is, with a time of official race spot time of 35:15. Prisi has defeated ColonelFatso in third matchup to move on to the finals.
Congrats to Prissy.
Yeah.
He
says he doesn't deserve it in chat in the Rice channel, but I think he played really solid coming out of that death.
34-50, 34-50, 35-10, basically.
Yeah.
He was sub-hood to Ruby 3 straight runs. I can't say you don't deserve it after that. That's excellent. Excellent tournament times.
Yeah. I think the third race was definitely better played by Prissy overall, with the if you take away all 3 total deaths, because Fatso had that other one and Wiley too as well. I think Prissy would have won this one.
I'm actually not sure. I think you might be right.
Because he was definitely much further ahead going into the Doc robots than he was at any other.
Yeah.
Well, up until the Spark death.
Yeah, because it was like 6 seconds in going into Spark, and I think Fatso's Doc robots were better again. So I don't know. I think they played pretty evenly in this one actually, but it's hard to say. GG to Fatso.
Yeah, he comes in officially at 36-37.
Fatso played fantastic. He struggled with his split kills today, but he played very, very well. His second run was a PB with the yellow double quick kill. It would have been a 34 2x, which only 4 have done in this game. So,
well, I don't know if they want to come in for any use. I know that you guys didn't, but I don't know if they'll be. Fortunately, yeah, but I'll ask.
Man, I can't believe how good those races were. That's incredible. I mean, just thank you so much to Prisi and Fatso for putting on such a good show today. Yeah,
it was like in all facets. It was just strong play throughout. So we'll come on in. Oh, yeah, they're going to come on in.
Oh, nice. That'll be fun.
Nice. All right, first one in is unfortunately the runner-up in this particular matchup, ColonelFatso.
Is it unfortunate that he's here, or is it unfortunate that he's the runner-up?
I think it's both.
Hey, Fatso, you played really well. You played very, very well today, so I'm sorry it turned out that way for you.
Yeah, well, it's just something that was really ticking me off, actually. In the entire week I was getting de-rusted and ready for this match. It was just like 100% consistency doing Yellow Devil in practice, and like 0. I didn't even get Yellow Devil in a run until my first race.
Oh wow!
For the entire week.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It's one of those things that has plagued runners of this game for a long time. It's as easy as it is for a lot of us in practice. It can definitely turn the tide of races.
Yeah.
You were aware of Prisi's death.
Sorry? Oh yeah, I was very aware of Prisi's death. Actually, I think that Prisi's death caused me to lose about 5 seconds in the first screen of Doc Gem.
How did
Because I was like, I can take it easy now, and then I didn't do any of the things that normally set me up to where I'm actually gonna, it threw my timings off for the magnet shots.
I was gonna ask you about how did that affect, what was your mindset? What did you do differently?
Just taking out a couple of the riskier slides. Like, normally, right before that little single block section in Doc Gemini, there's you can do 2 slides or 3, and I did 2 when normally I would do 3. Like stuff like that. It's very minor, tiny things that I was just. And for example, I didn't like the way I took the damage boost onto the spikes in Wily 1, so I just went above. Right? So it's little things like that where just gonna not be unnecessarily risky in my play.
Yeah, I mean, and that definitely kept you ahead through those things.
Yeah.
Like I can't argue with that. With that tactic.
Because you used an E-tank for Doc Wood, correct? I didn't see it. I was on Prisi's
yeah, I
screen.
usually use an E-tank for Doc Wood if I took a hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think I saw you over 16 health, so I assumed you were okay for 2 hits, and I wasn't sure if that was a normal thing or if that was just because
but
you
I don't like having to rely on getting the double in heat, so I just go for the E-tank right away.
Understandable.
So you don't have to if you don't want to, but take us through that second, because you had 4 hits left to go on the devil.
Yeah.
So take us through that. Like, I don't know if you had any more E-tanks or not. If you had an E-tank, would you?
Yeah, you get an extra E-tank in Wily 2. But I was really confident in my ability to do the tiptoe strat, and I was just like, oh, if I use an E-tank here, it's like 2 extra page swaps. So it's a significant time loss to do that. And I was not more than just Devil and that time swap, that like extra E-tank, right? I was not much further ahead than just that. So if I wanted to stay ahead, I had to do the tiptoe strat, especially because Prisi's refights are way better than mine.
Yeah, it feels like you would have cut the margin to, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 seconds or something with that. It definitely would have been a lot closer. Whereas might have maintained like a 10-second lead or something, I think, if you managed to get the tiptoe correctly.
Yeah, I think I'd have been fine if I got the tiptoe, but whatever. I mean, it's what happens. And then the one I actually don't want to talk about is the one that I had afterwards, where I just forgot to jump.
Oh
yeah. Take us through the first race on the Wily machine. What happened there?
Well, I think that what happened was either one of my thumbs was not quite on the button or something like that. I was really confused when it happened. I was like, wow, there's no way I'm mashing this slow.
Yeah, I assumed it was like a double mash where you were just out of sync or something, which I don't see from you very often. Or do you single mash that?
Just like, oh my god.
You do double mash that, right? The first
Yeah,
race?
of course.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just not something I'm expected to seeing from you.
Yeah, I might stop double mashing it though, because it's not saving me much time on lag.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that Fast was saying throughout all 3 races that you were picking up time on Prissy throughout the Doc Robot stages. What did you do to get so good at them where you're even picking up time on Prissy through those 4 stages?
Well, I mean, those are the stages that I practice the most. And also, I've spent a lot of time looking through stuff like Fast videos and, just whenever there's a new strat, I take a look at it and I'm like, yeah, okay, this looks cool, let's put it in. And, yeah, and I think that the difficulty of the Doc stages, for the most part, is a little bit overstated. Especially since there are a lot of strats that you can use that are not quite as fast, maybe as fast as strats, but are way safer.
You almost nailed your Gemini fight twice.
Yeah, so the first time I think that I just missed one shot or something like that, and then the second time I was at 9 HP or 8 HP, and I need 10 to do the fight properly, so I deliberately delayed a bit.
Right. Yeah, the last time I think you were just one hit short of just killing him directly in the middle.
Oh, no, this last match I had 8 HP, so I had to deliberately delay.
That was, maybe it was the second one then, but yeah.
Yeah.
How was the mindset going into the final match? Because that's something we were talking about a little bit. Like it was four really strong runs over the first two matches from both, total. Did you like? Because we were
I had
mentioning
some
like
major
how can
jitters. Not so
Yeah,
much
it's
in
like how-
magnet stage, but in a hard stage, I spaghetti
Oh,
all
really?
over the place.
What
We
made
were
what
saying,
made
like-
that one more nerve wracking than like being down 1-0, for instance?
I don't know. I think it was just the fact that, well, I was down 1-0, but I had gotten Yellow Devil, right? And that's the
Right.
that's the thing that had been stymieing me all week. And it's like, yeah,
Ah.
okay, if I get if like machine's really easy, if I get machine, then this is fine. This is totally fine. Then I didn't get Devil, and I barely scraped through a win. And so now I'm feeling nervous, like, dang, what's going to happen next? And then Magnet, obviously, I've practiced tons, and it just went the way it always does. But then hard stage, I got a little nervous.
Well, it was. I mean, such a fun matchup to watch. Just have strong runs and then just trying to 3 races in a row is tough. No matter
Yeah.
what game it is.
Yeah, I feel really privileged that I was able to be here to
Yeah.
this one. You guys put on a heck of a show. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So what's next?
What's next? Well, I
Mhm.
got like 3 games that I have to get ready for GDQs,
Oh
and
my
a
goodness.
tournament to get ready for. Oh my god.
The life of a speedrunner never ends.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Prizzy's here yet.
He should be. Let's get him in here. All right. He's being he's being coy here. Is he getting some stage fright coming in?
How could you be nervous after those runs? Like I would be having a heart attack.
Yeah,
in
I
those
know.
runs. Everything should be easy after that.
Talk all day about him, Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? He's playing around with his passwords here.
It's important stuff.
I guess we can Nick Flash. That's not the Nick Flash. It's 3 eyes. There it is. That'll Nick Flash him. Someone go into a stream or something. Got a nice trident going on in his password select here. There he is.
Hello?
Hello.
Congratulations to you, the winner of the second semifinal.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Take us-
It was-
Take us through it. How'd you feel?
I don't even know what to say. Like, I feel like I didn't deserve it, honestly. And like the first 2 races were really good. Like I think I had a really good performance in these first 2, and I played really well until that death in that last race. And then I died. Really, that death sucks because that's probably the easiest room in the whole game. And I thought like, okay, well, let's try like the best I can do like in the next stages, and I played really bad. So, and then Fatso died to Yellow Devil, and I feel like I don't really deserve it, honestly. Like, cause he should have won. Like his second run was really really good, and it's just one boss that took it away from him, and I feel kind of bad. But I'm so happy, of course, but not so happy that I have to play against Faster.
You'll be
Well,
fine. I mean, if you
yeah.
play like this, you'll probably win. So
Nah.
just do what you
Did you
did
see
today.
my refights at the end, man? It was 1-8.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's a fast refight.
I was really happy about that because my first 2 refights were really bad, So
So after
Well,
you
you-
took that death, I mean, I know you wanted to try to, play well from there on out. Like, did it make you any more nervous, or did it relax you a little bit, or what?
yeah, actually it relaxed me a little bit, and I was fine, like mentally. The problem was I was really going like all in. Like I knew I'm playing against a like really great player, and I knew I was really behind like 20 seconds or so with that death. So I knew I had to gain time somewhere, like try to make up everywhere a little bit of time everywhere, and I think I went for the stock spark, and I went for it for the despawn. I didn't get it, and I was like, okay, I need to get it. I thought to myself, I need to get this, so I tried again, actually, and I'm lucky that I didn't die. So that was kind of YOLO, but I also didn't get the despawn, and I just really tried really hard and played really bad, to be honest. Like,
Well,
I mean, you were
kept
one
the
death away
pressure-
from. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you kept the pressure on him, and that, like Fats was going to say, we didn't want you to be. You still, with keeping the pressure on it, means that one mistake and you're back in front, or at
Right.
least tied again. If you had made another one and put 2 mistakes between you and ColonelFatso, it would have been harder to catch up with that. So you kept the
Yeah,
pressure on.
that's why I never gave up.
Yeah.
Like that's why I never gave up, really. I just tried to give my best, just like the previous races, and just give my best and see what happens. And lucky for me, I mean, he died, so I guess I win.
Yeah, I mean, you were one death
I
away from
wish-
334s.
Yeah, I wish we would have gotten like a really, really tight last race, like 1 second or something stupid like that. That would have been. I would have been really happy, but it's fine. Like
It was still exciting.
really
I mean,
close ones, so-
we had 2 big lead
Oh,
changes
yeah.
in that last race.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Take us? When did you learn the Wily Machine mistake that Fatso made? Are you paying attention to what he's doing during your race or not?
Actually, so I actually wanted some update, and nobody was gonna tell me. So in the first race, I did not know anything. I just went
Oh wow.
like, just try your best, and basically did everything that I wanted to do. And in the second race, after the dog stages, I needed to know where he was. So I actually I refreshed my chat and opened the Speed Gaming 2 chat. So I was watching the chat a little bit, not too much because it's kind of distracting, and I saw like differences, like 25 seconds or something like that, and yeah. And in the third race, I didn't give up, but I didn't pay attention because I knew I was behind, and so I really didn't watch the chat.
Yeah, that's
until he died, of course, in Wild 2, and somebody came in my chat and actually told me he died twice. You have a chance, go. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me right now? I was like in my feet thinking about doing the zip, actually, like the crazy zip. I was like, okay, let's go for the zip. Who cares? Like, you're behind. Let's go on. And then after the 1-2, I saw the message in my chat, and I was like, wait, what? What? I almost did a big mistake there by not spawning call because I wasn't ready. I was watching the chat. I was like, wait, what? Okay, all right. I guess I have a chance. So no zip.
Yeah.
If I didn't see that, I would have gone for the zip, and who knows what happened? Because maybe I would have died and lost 30 seconds or something. So
Were you surprised that it took 2.5 full races for one of you guys to take a death? Like, that was, you guys were really on top of it, it seemed.
Man, I'm so proud of him and myself. Like, we put on, I think, a great level of play, and I actually thought he and I, we had both some runs before, like today, and we had 34s, and we didn't die. So I was like in a state of mind where I was like, okay, don't die. If you die, you lose, because I knew he's given his all to me, so I knew I cannot die. And so I was always on pressure, I was really nervous in the dog stages. Probably you probably saw that because I did a lot of mistakes there, and yeah, I actually I don't know. I really didn't expect. Yeah, I didn't expect that. I thought one of us would have died at least in the second race. So,
Yeah, it was a pleasure to watch. You guys both played really well, and it was close throughout.
Yeah,
and even when it
exciting.
wasn't, there was still crazy things going on.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because we were just keeping like a 20-second difference. Like in group stage, that's like a really close match. Like even in like the quarterfinals, that's a close match. But that was the farthest you were out until the Yellow Devil death.
Yeah,
throughout 3 races. So
yeah, Darkwing definitely. Great.
Yeah, it was exciting. It fit the bill for what a semi-final match definitely should be.
Yeah, I hope that the finals are even greater. Like I know, like I don't know if you know, but Fast and I we go back way back to the MM2 tournament, which
I was gonna mention you guys were in the finals, weren't you?
No, we weren't. We weren't. This is
Okay.
actually the first final between us.
Oh,
It's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, we faced each other in each of the last Mega Man tournaments, though.
When did you play each other in the Mega Man 2?
I think it was
third
like
round.
quarterfinals, or yeah.
Third
Oh,
round.
that early. And
Yeah,
then,
it was a stacked bracket. I want to talk to the organizers of that tournament.
and then 46. You were in the knockout, right?
Oh yeah, semifinals. That's like with all due respect to Fatso, and we had really great races here. But I think that was one of my absolute favorite races for me personally ever. Like that 46 with Faster, like was so crazy. Like I think he won by 8 seconds in a 1 hour and 40 minutes speed run. So
yeah, that was. I do remember that being really close. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's do it again, huh?
Let's do it again.
Time to do it again.
Oh baby.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I guess for those in the chat, they'll be setting up the time because again, it's these guys are at what?
Yeah,
9 hours
hour
difference?
time difference. Yeah.
So it might take a little bit of time to get that set up and ready to go. But hopefully we'll have it like next weekend. Hopefully.
Weekends are tough for me.
Yeah.
I happen to be off today.
Maybe.
But yeah.
Yeah, and we have.
We'll see.
I think we
We'll
have
figure it out.
another race, right? We have Darko versus Fatso.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we got the Darko Fatso.
The race?
place.
Oh, that's right. We have the third place. I forget that there's a third place matchup. Is it going to be best of 5 or is it still best of 3
Should be still best of
for
3.
the finals? Still best of 3. Where am I thinking there's something that's best of 5?
I don't want to have to
I'm
play
not
5
sure.
matches.
Yeah, my elbow would probably explode.
Okay, so let's forego the best of 5. Oh, that might have been a Tetris Attack tournament I was in. That was best of 5. But yeah, that's
best of Mega Man 3x3.
Yeah, that's that. You know, and that bronze medal match is going to be pretty good too, because what's that ColonelFatso time of what 36 was it with 2 deaths, 1 to Yellow Devil, 36-23 was the worst time of the semifinals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Poor Fatso.
Yeah.
Right.
The next worst was I think 35-27. I mean, these are some
Yeah, and that's
really
an uncommon
strong-
death too, because like that death was like
yeah.
a full minute death, which is pretty unusual.
Yeah.
I'm
So
happy
these
to
have
have
been-
been exceptional in at least one respect in this semifinal.
Yeah, I mean, this has been like. Let's see. Did you have? I think you had the. Nope, you did not. Fast had the best time was 34:45 by Fast, and then Fatso with a 34:48, and then a 45:53 from Prisi is his best in the semifinals, and then Darko's was 35:03. I mean, any one of you 4 could have won your semifinal match with those times.
Yeah, it's insane, right?
Yeah, there was really
it's
good play
been-
in the semi. I was happy to see that like everybody brought their game to the semifinals, and then there was a lot of good play.
Yeah, like actually, so when I heard of the MM3 tournament, I was actually I was really happy at first because the game has a lot of runners. and there's a weekly and stuff like that. But I was also like, oh man, another tournament. But I was like, okay, you need to join that because it's Mega Man, right? And it's like, it would be awesome because it's Mega Man. So I had to join it, and I actually tried to keep up with Mega Man 3, but I also had some other projects like the Big Trendy and stuff like that. So I got really, I was really not burnt out, but I was kind of stressed, to be honest. So, and then when all of that was over, I actually didn't expect myself to get into the semifinals. Like, look at my predictions. That was really genuine because I really didn't know, didn't expect that. I thought MCAN or Almond would beat me. So after that, when I got to the semifinals,
Yeah.
and after that, when I got to the semifinals, like I knew I had to put in work, because first of all, I don't want to, because I don't like losing. I don't want to lose.
Sure.
And second of all, I want to like have a great race, like just put on a great show for everybody. So I actually yesterday. I woke up and the first thing was streaming. The first thing was I pressed OBS, I started MM3, and I started right away without any practice, because I knew I needed that time of practice to get to the level where I am right now. So I put on so much time for this, because I knew like Fatso would bring his A game.
Wow. Yeah, I just pulled up your predictions. You have all three that are in here now, except you. All
Yeah.
other four except you.
Who does he have winning?
No. So
don't say it.
you win.
Who
You
does he
win
have
either
winning?
way. Like you either predict correctly the finals, or you win. Everything's
Actually,
good.
I only can win, right? If I lose, I win, and if I win, I win.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's why you never
Yeah,
pick
it's
yourself.
great.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you get some
The only
victory
other
sleep
one-
now, Prizzy?
Say what?
You get some victory sleep, or are you too amped up?
To be honest, I'm really amped up. I'm so like, I'm super awake. I was like actually really tired, and before the first race, and then after the top stage, after the first stage, I was really awake because of adrenaline and stuff. And now I probably can't sleep, because I only sleep for 4 hours actually, because I couldn't sleep. But
Well,
Yeah,
congratulations
it's,
again. The final has not been set yet.
yeah, actually, I like that we take our time now, because I'm kind of overwhelmed from the MM3 the last couple of days, because I did like every day practice, so it's good to take a little bit time off right now.
Yeah. Like soccer, you need a good several days before you refresh and do another.
Yeah. It's a great sport.
That's why. I mean, I know you're European, so I have to bring that. I can't use
Yeah.
like an American football reference. That would just like fly over your head. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I have absolutely no clue about American football.
yeah. So I suppose I could use basketball since that's popular in Europe too. But,
That's awesome.
they play every day almost. So.
One of my favorite sports ever is not soccer, like to watch, I mean, but tennis. I
tennis is
love
great.
tennis. It's awesome.
You're German, right?
Yeah, I'm German.
So let's see. So let me guess. Favorite players: Boris Becker and Steffi Graf.
Yeah, probably. So I actually like.
Prizzy's the
I
kid.
actually like. I like Robredo. If you
Robredo. Okay.
know. Tommy Robredo.
Yeah.
Spain.
Yeah.
And I like Tommy Haas from Germany, of course.
That's right. That's right.
Nadal and Federer are awesome too.
Yes.
But I actually like Federer more.
Yeah, I'm more of a Federer than a Nadal. I root for Federer a little bit more, since we Americans can't play tennis anymore. So
Yeah.
We used to, but now we can't. It's
I mean, what was his name? Blake? James Blake? Or-
Yeah. yeah,
Yeah,
got
he was
to,
awesome. I
yeah, he
really
got to like
liked
the
him.
quarterfinals or semifinals of the U.S. Open once.
Yeah.
All right, our Mega Man 3 stream just turned into a tennis stream. Great, I love it. I could talk about this all day. I have no problem. I'm just worried about the chat viewers
Yeah,
now.
same.
Yeah, I could talk about this all day.
They probably want to see some more action, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Fatso? What to do? Just kidding.
I can tell you what's coming up on Speed Gaming, though. In about 15 minutes here on Speed Gaming 2 is, and what's going on Speed Gaming right now is a Banjo-Kazooie tournament. I don't even know what exactly. Let's see. It's a 100% tournament. So that'll be coming up here if you want to go to Speed Gaming, watching that there. Tomorrow, we've got Zero Mission and Banjo-Kazooie during the day, and then 2 Link to the Past races tonight. Yeah, it has been. The entire race was kind of back and forth tennis-wise. We got Link to the Past coming up tomorrow night on Speed
That's a
Gaming.
guilty pleasure of mine. Link to the Past. The
Oh yeah,
randomizer.
I watch that all. Yeah, I
Oh,
watch that all the
man.
time. Man, yeah, it's just great to
Wow.
watch.
Great races.
Hopefully, we'll get some Zelda Zelda randomizer tournament races on Speed Gaming over the
Yeah,
next.
I really like the
week or so.
randomizer. It's,
Yeah.
like it's really random, of course, and
Yeah.
you never know what happens.
Yeah, it's always a fun to watch. So
Actually, a
that's
fun
what's coming
fact-
up on Speed Gaming. Do we have
Sorry.
any last few comments from our racers tonight?
Yeah, I have a fun fact. I actually thought I was in the Buster Only MM3 tournament of Kyle Precise when I lost all my ammo in Shadow Man fight in the Shadow Man fight. I was like, oh wait, okay, let's go Buster Only tournament. Let's go.
Yeah. Fatso?
I don't know.
Poor Fatso.
Yeah.
I love you, but I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry, man. Like,
No, what?
Uh,
You don't need to be sorry. Yellow Devil needs to be sorry.
You
not
should
hunting
be sorry.
children.
That guy knows what he did.
Yeah. All right, and
Anyway, yeah,
yeah.
I had a lot of fun. These matches
Yeah,
in
same.
particular, I was like, my practice runs were very not good, and then my races turned out to be pretty okay. So I was happy about that.
All right, great. And Festo, any final thoughts about facing Prissy in the final, or about the semifinal in general?
I already hate you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to racing Prissy. Feels
Of
like some
course.
sort of
Yeah,
feels like
sure.
some sort of destiny or something. So
Destiny for you to lose against me. Finally.
I don't think I can lose to you in a Mega Man
I'm like-
tournament. I mean, I'm just not sure if the universe will allow it.
But I think it's destiny that you lose in your main game.
Oh,
No,
man.
that would be
That's
so.
That would be
Man.
something. That
Oh,
is
man.
nice fantasy.
we have motivation here. It sounds like.
Yeah,
A
no,
lot of
it's
motivation.
something that I'm really looking forward to. I know Prissy's going to bring his A game, so hopefully I bring mine. Otherwise, I'm going to lose. So it should be a lot of fun.
Likewise.
All right, and with that, we'll going to send you over to the Banjo-Kazooie tournament. And so for all the racers, Fast at Sea, I'm Darkwing Duck saying peace out. We hope to jive with you guys later.
Is that your catchphrase?
No, I'm just copying it from you because you used peace out and jive during the race. I'm like,
Oh
that's
my
so
God.
Californian
Oh my god.
that I got to use it now. Well, during the semifinals, I said on behalf of Doc, Jam, and I, we'll see you guys next time.
Oh.
How the fuck did you? It's insane to me. It's so insane to me.
Well, you
How
know that
can-
like my strats are like 3 or 4 seconds better than my gold. Maybe not 3 or 4, but certainly like 2 or 3 faster than my gold. So
I think in all of these 3 races, I lost at least 5 or 6 seconds in every run, like on that stage.
Yeah, that stage is impossible.
And I couldn't
Doc Gemini is
clear the
legit.
Dragonfly. I couldn't clear it. I cleared it twice in my 2 no resets today. I cleared it twice. I felt real confident. And then in the races, I couldn't get it once. What? It's like the meme is right.
Well, it definitely was fun commentating. You know, especially someone who's not a Mega
really
Man
glad
runner.
that I made it back for this one because
Yeah,
that's
it was
something I was looking
really
forward
good.
Yeah, I'm happy that you guys had fun and that it was close, at least the first 2 races.
They were all dramatic. That's the important
They
thing.
really were. Like, each of them was...
A little bit too dramatic for my health, I think.
Each was
Yeah.
a freaking heart attack.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always happy. Like when I commentate, it's always about what does this race tells a story. What is that story? You know, while it's happening. So that's kind of how I go into it, and and all 3 of these told fun stories. So
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah, last one in particular probably because, and he died and it's almost over and there's almost like no chance that he can catch up and then Yellow Devil happened.
you know, I remember saying that too. When when Fatso was on Yellow Devil, it's like if he gets a quick kill, he can, you know, it's game
that's
set
probably
match.
it. That's game
Yeah,
set
it's game
match.
set match right there. You know, and then, you know, that happened.
Yeah, I still can't believe it.
It's because up buttons on NES bricks are the worst thing ever.
That's why you use dog bones, but we won't get into that conversation.
Good luck mashing the yellow. I want to see you mash the Yellow Devil with your dog bone, Darkwing. We'll do that at GDQ.
All right.
I want you to do that until you...
but... Yeah, all right. Sounds like a date.
All right, I gotta go get some food. Those matches left me hungry.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
That match left me hungry too.
I know.
It left me
I'm
hungry.
sad somebody. I'm
Hold on.
sad somebody had to lose that because you guys both played
Yeah.
well enough to advance. And...
Can we just both advance and then play MM4 in the final?
Yeah, you should just play each other, and I'll just sit this one out.
Yeah, nice.
We'll just
Alright.
let's have a 3-way final.
Yeah.
3-way final. That sounds great.
First to 2 wins.
Yeah, oh,
Doesn't go 5
man.
matches.
Yeah.
Good luck on the solo commentary,
Four.
Darkwing, on the 3.
Well, what was that?
Yeah, thank you for stepping
luck
up,
on the
Darkwing,
commentary.
and joining today.
Yeah,
Like-
I was. Yeah,
I'm glad you did. That was a lot
it
of
wasn't
fun.
my plan, but
That must be really hard, like commentating a 3 or 4-way race.
I have done it. I did it for Zelda Randomizer. It's hard.
Yeah.
But you know,
Especially for
I'm not-
randomizer, that seems like it'd be hard to keep
Yeah.
track of everything.
Yes, it was a little bit difficult, but you know, make it through, and you know, you can't take it seriously enough to where you have to let people know this is 3-way. You guys aren't following everything. That means I can't either. I'm doing
Yeah,
as
yeah,
much
yeah.
as I can, but
Yeah.
Well, like I saw some negative comments in the Zelda Discord regarding the commentary Calathon for Zelda Randomizer, and that's like I was really glad that I didn't do it just for that reason because it's like that's really not fair. That's a really difficult situation.
yeah, it was a difficult situation. So I couldn't like I could hear them. That means that RC Drone could hear. It was just they did fine. Like the few times I heard them, there was no spoiler.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, watching it, I thought they did a really great job, and so it
Yeah.
just But I know how difficult that can be.
so.
Anyway,
You know, it's weird too because I don't look too hard for comments on how I do commentary, but I haven't seen anything bad about what I've done, so I'm kind of worried that it's hidden build up somewhere that it's going to be released on me in the future.
nah, you're a pretty natural commentator. But anyway, I'm gonna go eat. Enough compliments of Darkwing for one day.
Alright.
It'll go to my head, man. I'll
I know, I gotta really be careful.
more insufferable. I'll be more insufferable.
Yeah, that just makes you more awful.
Yeah.
I hope I can meet you guys at GDQ at some point. I really want to.
One
2020.
day it'll happen. You're gonna
One
have a
day.
good degree, and you're gonna be making a lot of money, and you can come fly out every year.
Probably not. not right away. But yeah, I hope I can get my degree, and then I would definitely go to Jiku right away, because then I have free time, and I should have the money, hopefully, or maybe not, but we'll figure something out.
It'll happen at some point. Hopefully, I'll
Yeah.
get out to an ESA too.
Yeah, it would be cool. Or you
Although
guys
I-
just come to an ESA.
Yeah.
Need to pay that much money to get there.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
Alright.
Thank
All right,
you guys.
get off, guys. I'll
Thanks,
yeah,
guys.
thank you guys. Appreciate it. It was a fun race.
All right.
See you.
Thanks for the race, Prisi.
Alright.
Thanks for the great commentary,
Thanks.
guys.
Same.
Check you guys later.